What's going on, everybody? John here with you. It's a Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024. How's everybody doing out there today? Let's do it again. Again, I'll be here with you tomorrow if the Tigers don't win this one for Game 3. It'll be a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Get some sort of off day and then go into the Saturday. That's what you're hoping for, at least. So we'll see what happens. Right now, for the Houston Astros, they're up against it in a must-win situation. Was it 7 straight ALCSs on the line? This is for the ALDS, nonetheless, but that is what they've had. Hunter Brown is going to be on the mound for the Astros, the former Michigan product, Eastern Michigan. He's from the area. He's going to try to save the Astros. That would be fitting, as he also got a tiger tattoo on his arm, as they showed on ESPN in his visit to Comerica Park a little bit earlier throughout his career is what helped him stay in Major League Baseball. He said he just needed some home cooking to get back and feel comfortable. And now you look at the Tigers as they're starting to get warm up in the bullpen. Tigers started 5+ innings, lost 45 games, put in postseason 15 for School of Ontario, 4 for others, 18 starts of 2 innings pitched or fewer. So that tells you one thing and one thing only. When AJ Hinch, I was looking at this last night before I ended up making the notes, said, what is the plan for today's game for Detroit? He just said chaos. And what that really means is that you might have Reese Olson on the mound. That's what I see on the MLB Daily lineup. He could be the primary. You could open with Bo Brisky. You could open with Tyler Holton. They said that could be the plan according to the Tigers PR. So maybe Holton, then going into Olson, then going into a couple other pieces before you get through that bullpen. And for the Houston Astros, again, as we said, Hunter Brown on the mound, they have to respond from a 3-1 loss in which the Tigers had scored 3 straight 2-out RBIs in the second inning. You had Jake Rogers, Trey Sweeney, and Matt Vierling, 8, 9, and 1 in the lineup with 3 straight hits. That scored the runs. It ultimately held until the 9th inning. Foley came on and have given up a run. It was Jeremy Pena with a sac bunt at second and third after striking out 3 times. Leonard Diaz getting the lone RBI for the Astros in that game. I know that there's a lot of people in the Astros community as far as Twitter and X saying that the Tigers bullpen is mid. Now, you could talk about that when you think about Kenta Maeda and maybe a couple other pieces. And yes, it is possible with the lineup that we talk about with the Houston Astros with Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Jeremy Pena. I should expect to have a bounce-back game with 3 strikeouts that didn't look good. That top of the order is going to be difficult for anybody to deal with. Tarek Skubal said as much yesterday. He was nervous as hell. So, yes, we could see a little bit of return there, but the Tigers' bullpen as far as their main items with Brant Herter, Brian Hanafy, Tyler Holton, Mixon, Bo Brisky, that's going to be tough. Again, especially if you're the Astros and you're seeing a new pitcher maybe every inning and a third, every couple of innings that way. That's kind of what the Tigers' plan is going to be today. That's what I would expect. We'll see how that works for them going forward. I'll be back with you in a minute. So as we get set back into the play-by-play, we'll getting things started as Parker Meadows will make his way to the plate at Minute Maid Park. John Hunter with you for Game 2. Again, this is on ABC, so on the local TV today for the ESPN feed. We will have some news to share as far as maybe what's going to happen locally with Valley Sports, because they just dropped the bomb on MLB and said the only team that they want to carry a Major League Baseball subsidiaries is the Atlanta Braves. So what does that mean again for everybody else? We'll have to find out. So Parker Meadows will lead off. Will be in center field per usual. He was pretty much, seventh in the order yesterday. So Parker Meadows, Kerry Carpenter, Matt Vierling, as this Tigers lineup looks completely different for no matter what arm they have to face, righties, lefties. There's a game plan for A.J. Hinch all the way through. 11-9, 3.49 ERA, 127 WHIP for Hunter Brown, the former Wayne State Warrior product for lovely Michigan. And Parker Meadows, game 1 for 4 with a run scored, stolen base. He is a good defensive center fielder for the Tigers, and again, it's probably elite level speed and defense. Again, that bat, if you continue to bring that along for Parker Meadows, who is still only 24, probably in a really good situation moving forward for A.J. Hinch and Scott Harris. So Joe Espada looks on as you see him in a little gate here through alongside the TV feed, and A.J. Hinch in his former stomping grounds as Parker waits on the 0-2. 96, this one at the top of the zone, and right in toward left field, and makes the catch as Jason Hayward, the former Atlanta Brave, and the Tigers have their first out to begin game 2. So Kerry Carpenter, we talked about his reverse splits yesterday on the lefty side, and it is at pretty much 100 and lower as they show Justin Verlander again. I don't think we're going to see JV in the wild card series. Should Houston advance, probably we'll see him in the ALDS at some point, possibly pitch. Kerry takes 98. A lot of heat there from Hunter Brown. Again, it's really my third look at Hunter Brown over the years, and we'll have to see what that pitch mix is going to provide. Kerry Carpenter really kills on the righty side, and the lefties, again, low 100s, but only one home run, several strikeouts, but all told, 87 games in the regular season, 284, 18 home runs, 57 RBI, 37 runs scored, 22 walks, 75 strikeouts, 305, and 264 plate appearances against righties. And Kerry hits this one. This is a long fly ball, but this will be just shy of the warning track, and Chaz McCormick catcher underneath this, and it's 2 outs for the Tigers. So Matt Vierling is going to be last hope for Detroit on the top of this first. Hunter Brown, again, I think he has the same level of pressure on him that Framber Valdez did. I would say this for Hunter, just keep your team in the game. I know for Framber, things got a little bit ugly as far as the walks, maybe the location of the 3 straight hits and the sinkers back up the middle of the box. But that's really all it is. Framber did his best to keep his team in the game. I think Hunter Brown does the same. I think the Astros have a very good chance of winning this game, evening it up, and playing a winner-take-all on Thursday. Again, I have to be very guarded as far as Tigers and fandom, and I'll let them try to call it neutral. And also let you know, again, it's the Houston Astros. I'm not going to put anything away until you get 27 outs. That's what it's going to take. Sinker right down the middle. Make it 1-1 at 97. So, again, nothing wrong with the velocity for Hunter Brown. Paul Skeen's ERA, I should say Hunter Brown, is in the same with Paul Skeen's, Chris Sale, Michael King, with 251 as you got into the September months. 99 high and in the black. Make it 1-2. So very good work there from Hunter Brown. Again, 4-seam sinker, cutter, change, knuckle curve, and a very rare slider from 96 to 83. Well, we're seeing 99 out of the gate. 93 on a cutter. That one just dovetail out of the zone. Make it 2-2. Matt Vierling, again, as we mentioned, is the only one of the Tigers that's came to Miami that has postseason experience. He's in the 3-hole right now for Detroit, and A.J. Hinch will use his disengagement on Hunter Brown. You know, he's got to be amped up, the Michigan man, Hunter Brown, pitching for the Astros, and then Justin Verlander watching against his former team. There's a lot of interesting things to talk about as far as talking points, and A.J. Hinch back in his old stomping grounds, 2-2. Hunter Brown tries to put Vierling away, and he'll do so. 98 looking. So very good start to the game for Hunter Brown, a la Tarek Skubal Just straight heat and carve cutting of the Detroit Tigers in the top of the first. Will go to bottom one. Astros will get their first chance at the bat rack. Altuve, Tucker, and Alvarez.
Okay. Not only do we have the largest network of doctors and hospitals in Michigan, we also make sure access to the care you need is right at your fingertips. I think we made a lot of progress today. Things are really going away. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, always ready to help. Your persistence and dedication have brought you this far. But the fire, curiosity within you burns to push beyond your limits. LTU is the place where your passions and curiosities can soar, pushing your mind and body to new, magical heights. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
Watch 7 News Detroit at 6 and World News Tonight at 6:30.
One great idea can change your life. That's the American dream right there.
How will you continue with you? Henry the Shark Tank season premiere October 18th on ABC and stream on Hulu.
This week only at Domino's, get unlimited mini-priced pizzas for 50% off when you order online. Choose any size pizza you want, any crust you want, and any toppings you want. Oh, and any number of pizzas you want too. Get 50% off your perfect pizza or pizzas. This week only at Domino's.
Get that choice. It's a choice that Timothy's am I right? Of course. Let's take a look at the Astros starting lineup. Let's look forward to see more information at powerguard.com.
So Tigers go 1-2-3 to begin the ball game. That'll be Jose Altuve, Kyle Tucker, and Yordan Alvarez. Same designation really for the top six that we had in game one. So back in the official play-by-play, you have Tyler Holton out there right now. Again, Reese Olson is listed as the primary. Tyler Holton's going to start. That's what Tigers PR had thrown out, and that is what we have right now. Shows bunt and takes a ball. 7-2, 2.19 ERA, 0.78 WHIP, and 77 strikeouts and 8 saves. So, question is, do you want Tyler Holton to close? Do you want him to start? Do you want him in the middle innings? Do you want him in the late innings or in the beginning of the game? All over the place for the lefty. I think he's going to back home the Binks truck for Detroit, honestly. I really think he's going to be able to do that. Tigers already have guys in the bullpen ready to go here, so maybe just an inning or two here for Tyler Holton. We'll see how far he can go. He's going to go ahead and get some of the tough outs in the beginning. Now, you can make the comparison and the argument that Tyler Holton should be going after these guys in the 7th inning and the 9th inning when it's most important because it's the Tigers' best bullpen arm. That I can absolutely get behind, but you have to get outs wherever you can get outs. And if AJ feels like this is where he wants to go, as he only pitched a third of an inning yesterday, then that is where you're going to go. So Jose Altuve working his way through a full count as it's Tyler Holton's first batter of the day. Detroit Tigers with 8 starts and 8 saves in the season. Pat Dobson of 1969 and Tyler Holton of this year in 2024. So very rarefied air for Mr. Holton. So full count pitch on Jose Altuve, that should get the crowd to its feet. Again, Tyler Holton's job is to pretty much cue the music and cut it off. This is grounded to third. This is going to be a very tough play off the hop. And what a throw on the third base side for the Tigers. Excellent defense from Zach McKinstry. It's Jose Altuve off the hop. If this was maybe 12 years ago, Altuve would have beat that out. He's still got decent speed. But McKinstry deep in the hole off of a double hop, able to take this one and just fling it from third to first off a one hopper to Torkelson and right in off the bounce, able to get that just before Altuve steps on the bag. So McKinstry, sparkling defensive play to start this game. It'll not be up to Kyle Tucker, an 80-mile-an-hour sweeper. So for Tyler Holton, he'll mix in a sweeper, cutter, slider, changeup, fastball, two-seam, 6 or 7 different pitches that he'll throw for strikes at any time. Although the interesting part for Holton is his stuff is not overpowering. He kind of tops out about 92, 93, and then mixes in middle 80s, low 70s, mid 70s. He'll just kind of mess up your timing with pitches all over the strike zone, all around the box. Tucker will slash a sweeper at 80, and this will be cued to third base off the grading foul. So 9 pitches in the Holton stay. We'll see how many innings he gets as we talk about going into this. He is going to be the primary opener and then lead into Reese Olson. We'll start the game, and then Olson maybe will go through the middle innings. As Tucker will go down and get a sweeper. He'll fall into the Astros dugout. So heads up to Zach DeCenzo and everyone else down there. Again, I'm looking at the YouTube question. Again, think we'll see the votes that will the Astros take this to Game 3. The one vote says yes. That's where I'm leaning right now. I think the Astros will get there. We'll see what the Tigers will do tomorrow if they need to do that. Right now, it's just going to be bullpen chaos day. That's what they say. They're going to say that Tucker went. I'll have to just complete the throw. I think that's going to be 2 strikeouts. So a strikeout there, I should say 2 outs if your Altuve is done. And they're going to look at this again. Tucker, yeah, he went through the zone. As that one went all the way back, it bounced off of the end boards essentially on the catcher's side and then picked up and completed. So Yordan Alvarez, lefty on lefty here. He had that with Kyle Tucker and now Yordan for Tyler Holton. This is a ball at 92 on a sinker, and Jake Rogers did look back at the home plate umpire just to verify and confirm. Again, I will go ahead and refresh this on the MLB RotoWire because it's Jordan Baker calling balls and strikes today. Rondazzo didn't do a bad job yesterday. We'll see how consistent this zone is going to be moving forward. Again, over-under was listed at 7.5 runs. Houston Astros are one more time the favorite, as Reese Olson will be the primary. It's Tyler Holton right now to start this one against Hunter Brown. 2-0. Yordan Alvarez close enough inside on a strike on a sinker at 91. And Yordan Alvarez still trying to find a pitch that he likes. Has kind of been all over the strike zone right now is Tyler Holton as far as moving it up and down, left and right. Alex Bregman is on deck. Yordan. Big swing on a sinker, but he'll follow it down the first base line, and we'll do it again at 2-2. So for Yordan Alvarez and Joe Espada, you had to keep him in the lineup. He is battling a sore knee off the reconstructive surgery. It's the same one that he injured. Now Brendan Hanafy starting to get warm up for Detroit, the righty. But there really is no way that Joe Espada can take Alvarez out of the lineup. They can pinch run him with Zach DeCenzo later in the game, as they did in the 9th, but that's really the only time you'll see Yordan Alvarez leave the ball game unless he does get injured. Because in the postseason, he definitely bats above 450. He's around the 500 mark, maybe a little bit down yesterday. Still 308 as far as the regular season. He's having an excellent at-bat here. As this one's fouled off again down the third base line. He had to reach for it, but he did get a piece of that sweeper. So 308, 35 home runs, 86 RBI, 88 runs scored, 69 walks, and does not strike out a lot. He's only had 95. He hits for tremendous power, especially when you plant one over those Crawford boxes. This at 80. Softly to second base, no problem. Keith Torkelson and the Houston Astros go 1-2-3, just like the Tigers did. Let's go to the second. We're scoreless.
Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. Where was Mike? Was leaving home to protect his family and yours. Thanks to generous supporters, we're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, home away from home. You with them, learn more at USO.org.
So both teams go 1, 2, 3, and we'll get set to start the second. We'll pull up this box score and the play-by-play side for ESPN.
Wish I had something natural instead of this synthetic body wash.
Body wash, Jamie? I'm just watching body wash for men. They're tired of smelling thirsty.
It sweet. Even smells natural.
And it's moisturizing. At the end of the day, you just want to crack open a natural moment.
Sweet body wash, Jamie.
Dr. Squatch body wash. For men who prefer natural.
I'm really excited. I feel like I'm the top of the world right now.
I feel like it's a dream.
I feel super visible and very grateful.
It'll be Riley, Greene, Cole Keith, and Spencer Torkelson, 4, 5, 6. Due up when we start the top of the second. Joining here with you, I'm Cole. A little bit of a commercial break. ABC and Hulu and ESPN, but especially ABC, ESPN. It's on ABC today.
Series presented by T-Mobile 5G. Home internet. Get internet how you want. Well, you're getting here at mid-May. Nothing. Both sides retiring order in the first. And Riley Greene will start off against Hunter Brown.
So nothing doing in the first. Let's go to the second. Hunter Brown back on the mound. That is a crazy 12-6 movement on the curveball. And very early, I'll just say this to the first 3 outs, this might be the best I've seen Hunter Brown look. So he's kind of locking into that September right into October where he had some devastating numbers, about a 2.30 ERA. This is a changeup that misses way low at 88, make it 2-0 against Riley Greene. Did it end up the game yesterday with a base hit and a victory? That's the most important thing. Started with a few strikeouts. Now, Riley Greene has the most power on the Tigers lineup. He had 24 home runs to lead the team, 96 on a four-seamer that was on the low outside black. Now 2-1. So again, the miles per hour, they'd said from Baseball Savant about 95. Well, we're seeing almost 99 out of the hands. This at 89 goes and gets a changeup in this one, followed again amongst the Astros dugout. So they've already had a lot of busy work in behind that pipeline where that holds all those players, and we're hoping that they can stay okay down there because they've seen a lot of action. 2-2. Pitch number 17. And Brown just gets this off before the pitch timer expires. 95 blows Riley Greene away, so he's punched out a ton of times already. This is his 3rd or 4th strikeout within the first 2 games of this wild card. And Hunter Brown is meaning business right now. Let me go ahead and scroll down and through his line. Already got a couple strikeouts and threw an inning and a third. As A.J. Hinch starts to get to the top of the dugout. Managers to face former team after winning World Series with them. Billy Martin in 81, Terry Francona in 2016, and now A.J. Hinch. Billy Martin was very fiery. Terry Francona a little bit less so, more of the chicken and beer side of it, but everybody respected Terry Francona. Hell, I respected him a lot the Cleveland Guardians as well. One of the very best managers that we had in all of baseball before he retired. And now A.J. Hinch in amongst the scrutiny alongside the Houston Astros and now with the Tigers. Again, I had to let my guard down a little bit and realize a lot of that stuff went down. Yes, he's responsible for it, but he's also a very good manager on top of that too. And I think both things can be true, and that's how I have to paraphrase it. 1 and 2 for Cole Keith. Again, the youngster has a good eye. Tigers starting, I believe, 13 rookies in between this season and 2024. And now Colt Keith up against it 1 and 2. And he gets Colt Keith on a changeup at 91. And Hunter Brown looks like he should have been the game 1 starter against Framber Valdez because he is absolutely locked in. You got to watch Tarek Skubal yesterday. Hunter Brown kind of looks like this right now. And this is no kidding, and it's no fabrication, honestly, because you get Riley Greene and Colt Keith just like that, look like mincemeat. Now breaks Spencer Torkelson's bat right in half, and this will be fouled again amongst the Astros dugout. So Torkelson, you see his average and some of his numbers and all that, and his specific lettering. Well, he's going to need to get another torque back because he just busted that thing right in half. All he's got left is a little bit of the knob. So Torkelson prepping his second at bat. It's 0-1 on the count. His second bat in his first plate appearance. As Hunter Brown pretty much just broke the wood right in half. Joey Cora looks on, third base coach, and AJ Hinch as they get the festivities all squared away. And they get this bat to be sacrificed for a new one, if you're watching some Major League. So 98 miles an hour, this time inside on a sinker, does not get the call, but Hunter Brown has been pretty good around that strike zone. 0 for 2, 2 walks, couple strikeouts for Spencer Torkelson. Didn't get a hit, but he did get on base a couple times. 1-1 pitch, 98, low outside black on a sinker. Man, oh man. Hunter Brown, again, the velocity, baseball savant at about 94. He's been about 98, 99. A little bit amped up. If he goes 5 or 6 strong, this Detroit offense could be put in a vice. They were up until the second inning of game 1. Right now, this is not looking like that. Trying to put Spencer Torkelson away, and they strike out the side. 1-2. 98. Torkelson was able to get his bat quick enough in the zone up high and send that one straight back. That is what Torkelson's a little bit prone to. Sometimes that bat's a little slow. Again, with his immense talent, he can rip up AAA, but he's still trying to figure out what life is like in Major League Baseball and hit consistent pitching, hit the fastball, hit some off-speed pitches. Spencer Torkelson, another 1-2. 98, this one right back up the box too. Altuve, soft toss, trying to make sure they get it to Caratini. And I don't think Caratini got the tag. His foot comes off the bag. It looked like an easy toss over for Caratini to make that play and get the tag over on Torkelson. I don't think he got there. So Spencer Torkelson busts his butt down the line. That's what they always want you to do. And I think this is going to be a Tigers base runner. Yeah, it was just a wave and a miss on a tag. His foot came off the bag. And this should have been a really easy play from second to first. And Caratini, that was a little bit nonchalant there from Altuve and Caratini in the mix, and that is about as routine as it gets. It gives the Tigers a base runner in Zach McKinstry. He went for the downs. Why not? You already got 2 outs top second. Probably shouldn't even be here. It should be bottom of the second at this point, but Zach McKinstry is going to get one more chance at this. We'll make the start today, and third was not in the game yesterday. Was not used as a pinch hitter either. So we'll start fresh in game 2 with a series lead for the Tigers. 97 be followed on the third base line. 0-2. So Zach McKinstry already up against it. His numbers, hadn't played a whole bunch. 215, 4 home runs, 23 RBI, 32 runs scored, 24 walks, 69 strikeouts. He is 16 for 16 on stolen bases. That will come into play if McKinstry does get on the base paths at some point today. Hunter Brown will use his disengagement, step off the mound. Ratio is excellent. 21 strikes, 7 balls for a total of 28. See what he does on pitch number 29. McKinstry goes and gets this one. He slashes it. And now McCormick with a little bit of a drop into center field. That should get the Tigers with runners in scoring position. So Spencer Torkelson should have been out. Absolutely. From a routine play from Altuve and Caratini. From a toss to second to first, it should have been as easy as you like. And now McKinstry goes and gets a fastball up and out of the zone. And now that allows Torkelson to get to third and McKinstry to get to second. This would be absolutely awful for the Astros to give up any sort of run damage here at all, even if it's just 1 or 2, whatever it could end up being. So Trey Sweeney came through yesterday in the top of the second inning with 2 outs. Here we are, top of the second inning, 2 outs in game 2. 92 does not offer at the cutter. And then Jake Rogers. It was 7-8-9 that got the party started yesterday in this exact moment with 2 outs. It took us a little bit longer to get here. We'll see if Trey Sweeney can come through for the first RBI for Detroit in game 2. Off the knob of the bat. Good thing for Trey and Tigers fans is this one stays foul. Make it 1-1. Tigers threatening with a couple of runners in scoring position here at third and second. McKinstry at second, Torkelson at third. Trey Sweeney trying to come through with 2 outs in the top second. 1-1 count. Hunter Brown at pitch number 32. This one blocked into the dirt. Good work there for Yonder Diaz. Make it 2-1. And at least now, again, I said this yesterday with Framber Valdez. At least the Tigers in the second inning were making them work. That ended up proving out to work pretty well because the Tigers took game one. And again, they got to do the same thing with Hunter Brown because he looked pretty good in the first. Trey Sweeney, 2-1. See what he gets here with Brown. 89. Altuve, another routine play. This time he will make it to Caratini. Tigers are put away. Made it a little interesting to Detroit from that poor defense from Altuve and Caratini. But we'll go to bottom two. Still scoreless.
What's up at DQ? 2 special-tossed chicken strip baskets, all white meat chicken, and your choice of wing famous flavors like honey barbecue or Parmesan garlic. Hurry in. We enjoy flavors at DQ. DQ.
ESPN Bet is Steve Greene. Steven's A-List. What can I have a full phone feature bet?
Like what?
Molly's matchups.
How like?
Molly's money lines. They told me to put in money lines.
Do they buy it? They said man drop stocks. I get it. It's no Steven's A-List.
Get exclusive talent markets and up to $1,000 in bonus bets with the first bet reset on ESPN Bet.
Question. If you can't see what's behind all this, how do you already know? It's cheap. Probably the same way you know if the T-Rex is chasing a Jeep Wrangler.
He's getting away.
Yep. Or if it's
So 4, 5, 6 due up for Joe Espada's squad. It'll be Alex Bregman, Yonder Diaz, and Victor Caratini after this commercial break.
because when you're an original, it's only Things come right at us. She's trying to get the 3-part season premiere event continues Thursday on ABC.
Let's tell the freaking world.
One of my students in training room. Cancel classes. Word of it down. Hello, Miss Steve.
Hello, Miss Penny. Hope your day's going well. HR is here today, so if anyone has something they want to file, raise your hand. Not about me, about other things.
These are the takeout menus on David. Those were suggestions that we should go after dinner. We're sick.
Write that down.
So the Astros getting set to go on the bat rack. John here with you. This is the game on ABC. Channel 7 side, Tigers and Astros get the early games. Astros, they're used to this as far as working on the ALDS, ALCS. Trying to get these early games in and get to the postseason for the 7th straight time in the ALCS. So they still got this wild card game. They got to win 2 more of these, get to the DS, and try to do that again. This team is talented enough. And guess what? We have a pitching change already. So Brian Hanafy is the new pitcher, and Alex Bregman's going to greet him rudely with a single on a sinker at 94 miles an hour. So Hanafy, Holden only goes 1 inning, and that's the only thing. And I'm not going to sit and criticize A.J. Hinch because this worked for about a month and a half for the Tigers to get in the postseason. Again, he's talking about middle August having a 0.5% chance to even make the postseason, so they shouldn't even be here. But the Tigers have been able to essentially do this for 2 starters and 3 bullpen days out of the 5 to be able to make it work, win some games. But now Tyler Holton's day is done after just the opening scoreless inning. I still believe it's going to lead you into Reese Olson at some point. Maybe Hanafy only gets 1, but it's going to be up to the Astros and Joe Espada to just kind of key in on every single new pitcher that the Tigers bring in, because when A.J. Hinch was quoted about what today was going to be, he pretty much just said chaos. And it's just going to be the bullpen factory that the Tigers have been able to run over this last month and a half, essentially. 2-0. So Hanafy, giving up a single. Now Diaz had a really good rip at a sinker that was dead center cut. And this one's followed straight back. Make it 2-1. So Hanafy is a guy that can get you some ground balls. Brant Herter would be another one of those as well. Shelby Miller was DFA'd to bring in Jackson Jobe. I don't know if we will see Jackson Jobe at some point in this game. I would imagine it would be late innings, and the Tigers would have to have a lead to do that for the youngster, who was a high school pick just 3 years ago for the Trek, but has a lot of promise. Is an absolute fireball. Right now, it's Hanafy's job in the bottom of the 2nd inning to keep everything right where it is. 97, this one will not split the gap, will be caught in right field. That was another good hit there for Diaz. Again, Bregman was rewarded. That was hit very hard, but the Tigers are able to get out in right field. So they will take it. And I'm just going to look ahead. So Matt Vierling had went from third to right field because Zach McKinstry is going to start today about in the seventh hole. Again, when the Tigers will start in the third, they'll have Jake Rogers before this lineup will flip over. Victor Caratini will take a ball up high at 96. So again, you think with all the technology, scouting, video coordination, and all that, Astros have been very schooled about what the Tigers have been doing as far as what they're going to see today. So again, if they're able to figure out this victory, I will tell you this for Thursday, what will that mean for Detroit? If you already had a chaos day as far as bullpen, who's going to get everything going tomorrow? Would that be Kiter Montero to have to try to figure out some of that stuff? Would it even be Tarek Skubal just for an inning? If you needed something like that, that could be even more chaos, let alone today, is what the plan is. 95. And this one fouled off the foot of Caratini right to Hannafy, make it 2-1. So there will be a lot to think about, but the extension of the way that this game is going and from the onset and the bottom of the second as we're still scoreless, it might seem like the Tigers will throw out 6 or 7 different arms today. Hell, it kind of looked that way yesterday for Joe Espada with Rhino Blanco and opening up with Framber Valdez and mixing between an inning and a third with Caleb Ferguson, mix and match with Hector Neris. But I think you're going to have a lot more of that today for Detroit. And then we'll leave game 3 to whenever that starts on Thursday and figure that out if it's even needed. Because right now, Tigers get this victory, they'll get the off day before they go to the DS. And that is really what they want on their mind, to get everything situated again, figure out when they're going to pitch Tarek Skubal probably in game 2, game 3, should they get to it for the next series. That's what they want with this off day if they can get this victory. Dive bomb on a changeup. And I will see if Joe Espada wants to send the runners. I know it's only one out, but you got Caratini. Alex Bregman at first. Jeremy Pena will be due up next. Unless there is any sort of double play. Full count here for Hannafy. Just 11 pitches into his day. Looks like he's going to get the second in this clean inning. Runner does go. Good stab in the bag. See if they got the step on it. I don't know if they got the lead out. They definitely got the out at first. So they will get the out at first. Cole Keith was not able to step on the bag to get the lead runner in Bregman. So we will continue on. So Keith didn't want to mess around. I think he sidestepped and got maybe a partial piece of that shoe. He didn't get a chance to get the whole cleat on and step on the bag. It looked like he missed the bag completely, but still had the wherewithal to get the out at first. That's the most important thing. You got to be able to get outs. This will give Jeremy Pena an opportunity to get a hit here and try to get the Astros' first run of the ball game as he takes ball 1 inside. You can also pitch to Jason Hayward and Chaz McCormick, as that bottom of the order looks a little bit different than Mauricio Dubon. He is on the bench today. And Pena is going to follow this one right off of him. So Jake Myers, who was in the 9 hole in center field, he gives way to Chaz McCormick in game 2. And Mauricio Dubon on left will be Jason Hayward in the 8 hole for Joe Espada. But right now it's Jeremy Pena in the 7th spot, 1-1. Struck out 3 times yesterday, and for a player of his caliber, I don't think we're going to see that again for Jeremy Pena again. He was a postseason hero a couple of years ago. He's still got all the tools to be one of the very good players in Major League Baseball for a long time. This is a good leverage at bat early for the Stros. 95 on a sinker, and he went for the downs and missed it all. Make it 2-2, an inside sinker low. Hannafy trying to keep it right where it is. Tyler Holton with a scoreless first. Hannafy trying to get a scoreless second. Cole Keith could not step on the bag for the double play, but he did get the out at first. So it does give Jeremy Pena an opportunity. I don't think that's going to be counted as an error like the Altuve throw to Caratini, which allowed Torkelson to reach, but we'll see what that is when we get to the end of the second. 2-2. Does not offer at the slider. Make it 3-2. Jason Hayward, if there's any sort of walk, will be next, or a base hit. Could score the first run of the game for the Houston Astros. They need this game 2 to extend the series because the wild card, it's Not a single game anymore. It's best of 3, but the Tigers took the first one by a score of 3-1. Full count pitch to Jeremy Pena. Pitch clock down to 5. Hannafy gets a sign from Rogers, and he issues the walk. So no worries just yet as Jason Hayward comes to the bat rack. Again, Jason Hayward was how many inches, maybe centimeters away from putting this across the right field, I'd say toward the end of the wall over Spencer Torkelson in game 1. He hit it very hard, and it was allowed out to end the game. And now Hayward's got an opportunity to essentially do the same thing, maybe score a couple runs here for the Houston Astros. He was 0 for 2 for a strikeout, but he had a better game than that. 96. He was all over the fastball from Bro Brisky at 100. And the 9th inning was Jason Hayward. I think he got a little bit unlucky, as he's got ducks on the pond for first and second and 2 outs. In the bottom of the second, still scoreless. Hannafy, 96 on a sinker. Again, if Hayward does reach, it will be Chaz McCormick before this lineup turns over, but there is 2 outs. And if he really needs to try to make sure, regardless of how many pitches he throws, just get out of this and keep it close. That's what all these bullpen arms need to be able to do. 96. Foul ball for Hayward. Man, oh man, he missed that by just a half of an inch down the first base line. We just talked about it. Leading into his first at bat in the 9th inning, when he bulleted that thing right to Torkelson, he could have plated 2 runs right there. Maybe the runner from first could have went all the way and scored. That was blasted, just foul. So Jason Hayward got unlucky twice. We'll see if he can dig back in again. He has been on the baseball, and I think having him in the bottom of the order right now for Joe Espada probably makes a lot of sense, because he seems to be an engine that can make things go. He's just getting a little bit unlucky. I think he's probably due at some point. If he breaks out a big way either today or tomorrow, should we need it. 1-2. So Hayward will get it set to do it again. He probably could have scored a run if it was a baseball half an inch. This one at 89 on a slider. This is way outside and low. 2-2. So Hannafy is getting the second inning in relief of Tyler Holton. This will be pitch number 23. Hannafy trying to get Hayward here as the crowd gets live. This is a groove for Hayward. This one again, foul. That had a lot of hang time up in the air. It looked like it might stay fair for a first, maybe a second and a half or so. Hayward, again, as we've said, has been on this baseball. He will get another bat. I think he partially broke that one. He continues to work and get very close as they get some J-Hay signs. For the former Atlanta Brave, he was an all-star. He looked like he was going to be a superstar at one point. It did not pan out, but he's been in Major League Baseball for a long time. He's a good veteran hitter, good defender. 2-2. 91. Will stay with it. He went down to go get a change. It would have been a ball anyway, but he will continue to keep this bat live. He's seen pretty much everything Hannafy can throw at this point here. So it really is just putting bat on ball again and hoping it falls somewhere for Jason Hayward, because he's had the right approach every game here between game 1 and game 2 early in the bottom of the second. 2-2 again for a third time. This at 91. Goes down and gets it again. Could have walked already with the last couple of pitches, but he's fighting at this bat rack right now, and he's doing an excellent job. At least he's driving up Hannafy's pitch count. He's seen the sinker, four-seam, slider, and changeup. 4 different pitches here, as you have the Space helmet, Space City jerseys. It's pretty good alternate, all things considered, although Houston's not my favorite team. I'll make that out in the open. 2-2 again. 97, swing and a miss. Hannafy does the job. Hayward put out a tremendous effort. He absolutely got, I think he got screwed a couple times in a foul ball, to be honest with you. Again, he hit that very well, but the Tigers will take it. Again, just fractions of an inch from maybe scoring a couple runs and leading it for the Astros, but we'll go through 2. We're still scoreless.
Win the day with a Tussie favorite cereal. That colonoscopy for getting screened, so I'm delaying. I heard I had a choice. I know the name, that's what I'm saying. Beauregard? Beauregard. Beauregard. Screen for colon cancer. At home, like you want. Be the man. Actually, use a bonus. Cologuard is a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive. It's for people 45 plus of average risk, non-high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider for Cologuard. I did it my way. How does the know-it-all know it all? With NFL Red Zone on NFL Plus Premium, he hasn't missed a Sunday afternoon touchdown in years. He watches 7 hours of non-stop football action. It's impressive. And with all the end zone analysis and insider intel, Red Zone helps the know-it-all know everything that's going on. Hey son, what's my opinion on the NFC North? Which means that with NFL Red Zone on NFL Plus Premium, you too can be a football know-it-all. Celebration on Dancing with the Stars. You have the cruise. Monday, it's Soul Train night. Let's go. Tuesday, starts Monday.
You're living your life, and then all of a sudden you're out there making cups all the time.
How do you do that?
I have an IQ of 160.
So Tigers goal from Holton and Hannafy. And we'll see what they continue to do for this bullpen train as it's scoreless heading to the third inning. KC opened their series in the wild card with a 1-0 victory over the Baltimore Orioles. The New York Mets won a slugfest against Milwaukee, and San Diego pretty much shut down the Braves. And that's where we're on the wild card. These could all end today, or these could all be extended, or the mix of the two. So Jake Rogers will begin the third inning with a cutter that goes foul before this Tigers lineup will flip over for the first time. Jason Hayward was pretty close to plating a couple runs, or at least giving the Houston Astros a lead with a fraction of an inch and a couple of these foul balls. Jake Rogers 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored for the former Houston Astros prospect, and now catcher backstop for the Tigers. 0-1, 91 on cutter. That one is low and outside. Hunter Brown had to work a little bit in the second inning, but his pitch count for the first 6 outs is at 35. Jake Rogers waiting on a 1-1. 98. This one will pretty much split the plate. Rogers will watch it. Again, 197, 10 home runs, 36 RBI, 22 walks, 99 strikeouts. Just that 197 average. Power's down a little bit for Jake as well. He's normally around 20 home runs at least, not 10. This will be out in front of a slider again, but he does have the quick bat right now against Hunter Brown, and he needs to, because Brown, again, according to Baseball Savant, at about 95, he's throwing 99, so he's definitely got the velocity perked up a little bit, knowing that he needs to have a good outing for Houston to be able to get back into this game. And I said the same thing as I prefaced it in the open a little bit in Game 1. I think a good outing for Hunter Brown is to keep it at 3 or less, because there's enough of an offense here through 1 through 6 for Joe Espada's squad to win it outright. Didn't happen yesterday against Tarek Skubal, but this is a little bit of a different animal. Jake Rogers. This is a looper. Nice play off the back foot from Pena off of a half jump, maybe a long reach. That's probably the more accurate way to say it. But Jake Rogers made some good contact. I'll be turned away, and it'll be up to Parker Meadows. He'll get his second opportunity. Had a single in yesterday's game, a stolen base, but most importantly, a win. Again, his premium defense in center field, commanding anything in the outfield especially, is what the Tigers can really hone in on. And they're about, 25, 30 games above 500. That's a gorgeous curveball on the low outside for a strike on the black. But his premium play in defense and center field, being about 25 to 30 games above 500 when he's in the lineup, doesn't matter that he's hitting just 244. I think the 24-year-old is going to continue to get better, and he'll be a premium mainstay. There's a reason why I wear a Curtis Granderson shirt. Parker Meadows might be the incarnate that I've been waiting for a long time to have that type of play. 96 on a fastball is up in the kitchen, and Parker Meadows will swing. He can't find it, as Hunter Brown's definitely bringing up the heat in that respect. Pitch number 42. He's going to try to dust Parker Meadows right here. Pitch timer down to 3. Gets the sign from Diaz. 90 on a changeup, and Diaz can't frame it. But Diaz says, hey, I like the location. You get that one a little bit closer for me, and we might get Meadows to punch out here. That's according to the body language that I see with him shaking his head. He's like, I like it. Just get this one up a little bit more in the zone. I think we can get it here. See if they can do. So they go right back to the changeup. They went to the cutter this time high, and that was frame painted beautifully there. And Hunter Brown has got 4 strikeouts today. So again, we talked about it from the first. I think we've seen it in the first couple outs, and he means business today, knowing what's at stake. But I think we're seeing the best of what Hunter Brown has been in the major league uniform. Even if it's just September, I don't care if it's 1 month or not. You leave this one in October. Houston wins this one and finds a way to win on Thursday. They can definitely take this as far as they want to, as far as their postseason run. Big swing and a miss on a curveball. That 12-6 started in the middle of the box and fell all the way down to the plate, and that is no exaggeration. Game 1 was 0-2 for Kerry Carpenter. It's 0-1 right now, but he definitely has the pop and the at-bat. At any time, Kerry Carpenter can take it deep. 0-1 pitch. Pitch number 45 for Hunter Brown. 98 outside. 18 home runs, 57 RBI in just 87 games in the regular season. Slugging leaders this season on 250 plate appearances. Judge at 701. Michael Kay would know him well. Bobby Witt at 588, which was third. Kerry Carpenter's fourth at 587. So his minimum plate appearances. Again, this is interesting that his slug percentage is as high as it is because we talk about he does not hit lefties at all. If you would say that he's an iceberg of lefties, I think that would be disingenuous to icebergs. He swings and misses. That was a pitiful look at a curveball there for Kerry Carpenter. He got absolutely fooled. And Hunter Brown was linking at 12-6. He says, let's go, guys. We got this. Travis McCormick, Altuve, Tucker. They'll get set to rotate the lineup over. We'll go bottom 3. We're still scoreless.
I am ready to find a second-grade lump of money.
You're hearing a lot of big promises right now. One company is delivering on them. All side windows. Get our biggest offer ever. 80 months, no interest. Plus half off every window. 80 years, 80 months, no interest. You can save literally thousands while improving the value and comfort of your home. Buy direct, save big, and enjoy them. 80 months, no interest. No down payment. Limited time. Wall side.
I know Astros fans have been able to see this essentially for the last month, but I'll be honest here with you right now. Through the first 3 innings here for Hunter Brown, I've been beyond impressed. The velocity's up, the fastball looks good, the changeup, the 12-6 cutter. He's mixed in everything right now. He looks like the absolute ace. And again, Joe Espada, you don't get a chance to get do-overs. Hunter Brown, how many of you feel like he should have been the game 1 starter? Because right now that's what it looks like. But also, you can look at it in the reverse angle and say you didn't want to waste Hunter Brown against Tarek Skubal. And I can also understand that there because when you mix those 2 heavyweight juggernauts, somebody's going to have to blink first. And it's really just all about winning that next game. And I think right now he's put his team in the driver's seat to be able to do so if they can start to score some runs.
You're giving up on your dream, James.
Nah, I'm giving up on yours.
Okay, fight. Oh, that's not the mix. It's time for Pitch Hit and Run, the official Astros competition of Major League Baseball. Give the kids in your community a chance to flex their superpowers, and they can earn a trip to the National Finals at the 2025 World Series presented by Capital One. So go ahead, be the one who powers their dreams, and sign up to host a local Pitch Hit and Run event. It's a free and fun way to promote baseball, softball, and your organization. To learn more, visit pitchhitrun.com. After a minute, a first pitch to the bottom of the 3rd is a strike to Chad McCormick.
So Brian Hanafy is going to get another opportunity here to get an inning. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. We'll see. 27 pitches into his day as Chaz McCormick takes an inside strike. This 94 and a sinker well outside to make it 1-1. So again, Tyler Holton opened the game with a scoreless inning. He also only pitched a third of an inning in game 1, so he's definitely going to be fresh for anything else. if you need him tomorrow. Chaz McCormick gets on top of this breaking ball. Slider right to Trey Sweeney. No problem to Spencer Torkelson. And man, oh man, I can just say this for Trey Sweeney. Again, he's been in the Dodgers system for a few years. He got buried. He wasn't a bad prospect, but the Dodgers got a lot of good ones. But he has been so solid in the middle of the infield, and I hope that I don't jinx him, honestly. This is a fan of baseball in general, but he's been so solid there. And when you had Javier Baez in the mix of it, you bring him in alongside that big deal. And it had not worked out, and he had to rehab with the hip, and there was a lot of work to do there. But Trey Sweeney, going into 2025, when it's all said and done for the Tigers, you can try to platoon Baez. Maybe you can try to buy him out because there's 2 more years in this contract, but the buyout would be 4. Well, I think Trey Sweeney's got that spot. I really do. 0-1. Slider at 88. Low outside corner. Again, Altuve offered at the first pitch. So Altuve, within these 2 games, has had maybe about 6 total plate appearances, maybe 5. And he swung at the first pitch 4 of the 5 times. I think he got that maybe wrong by an at bat or so, but he's primarily trying to attack this first pitch a couple times. The first one, he almost took it to the warning track in game 1, but Riley Greene was able to make the catch. 1-2. Jose Altuve is an all-time Astro. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer when it's all said and done, when he's done playing baseball. And he is the straw that stirs the drink. Kyle Tucker, King Tuck, is due up next to be another one of those. 94 and a sinker. Inside toward the feet, back him away. Most career postseason home runs, Manny Ramirez is 29, Altuve 27, Bernie 22, Derek Jeter 20, and Schwarber with 20. Alex Bregman 104 with 19. 95, strike 3. Jose Altuve will take it looking. That was a dot from Brendan Hanafy on the low outside corner, right on the black. And I think Chris Fetter might be going, and AJ Hinch right to making a pitching change as they'll try to go lefty-lefty. So that's the day for Brendan Hanafy as he goes an inning and 2/3 as the chaos day continues.
Sometimes the best beginnings start with a play. And yours starts right now. Save up to $200 per month on a 3-night, 2-day room ticket package at select Disney Resort hotels. And let the magic begin at Walt Disney World Resort.
People call me a character coach. I don't coach one specific sport or team because I'm passionate about helping young people to find their purpose and identity outside. Working and thriving on my finances, I felt like I could give more of my time and talent to help kids in my community. It's allowed me to live what I consider a truly rich life.
So I think the Tigers are going to bring in Brant Herter. And the lefty would make sense because then he gets to face Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez. So they've used Tyler Holden, the lefty. They're starting to use Brant Herter now, the second lefty. They use the righty Brendan Hanafy. So Brant Herter is the new pitcher here for the Tigers, the lefty on, the specialist. Again, I don't know if that's the right word to use because all these guys be able to use in any situation. But right now, he's going to try to face Tucker, and if Tucker does reach, it'd be Yordan Alvarez. So Tyler Holden goes 1 inning and gets a strikeout. Brendan Hanafy goes an inning and 2/3. His day is done with a hit, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Herter doesn't find the strike zone with either one of those sinkers on the low right side of the box. Kyle Tucker, first play in MLB history with 20 home runs and 10 stolen bases, fewer than 80 games played, 23 home runs, 11 stolen bases in 78 games. Tucker does not offer at the sweeper. That had a tremendous lot of movement on it, but it was way outside the zone. Make it 3-0. So Tucker, it's got a really good hitter's count. If you're hurt or if you lay one in there, this could absolutely be 1-0. So you got to be careful with that. 95, he did lay one in there. Tucker did not offer, so he took a 3-0 sinker right down the middle. Man, oh man. Hope we get a chance to do that one again, says Tucker, I would think, as he'll dig back into the box. 3-1, sinker, not close. So Herder issues the walk. It's his first at-bat out of relief. If you're going to walk somebody, Kyle Tucker might not be a bad one to do it, but now Yordan Alvarez could absolutely make this 2-0. Again, it is left on left. And A.J. Hinch, again, you bring these guys in certain situations off the handedness, be able to get the outs. You got to get 27 outs. It's a chaos day. And that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to piecemeal this thing together. That should work, Colt Keith. Slowly, the Torkelson, Yordan Alvarez doesn't run well with that knee, and he does the job. So it is a walk for Tucker, but no more. And Herder does his job and threw an inning of the third. So it'll be Riley Greene up next to go.
The one that really needs the break, not the people that are already rich and have money. The 1% don't serve anybody but themselves. So for them to get a tax break, no, that's not cool. Kamala Harris is going to make billions pay their fair share, and she's just going to cut taxes for working people like me. I'm bloody, and I'm not rich as hell, and I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
FFPAC is responsible for contents of this ad.
Stay quiet. We're making it with the two drops. Twisted Tea fans love football and refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Harvest Tea. Real blue tea.
So we got zeros to the first 9 outs of the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Just one hit for the Tigers, one hit, one error for the Houston Astros. It's been very quiet here in this game, too. We're waiting for the fireworks to start.
Tennessee is primed for playoff run. The SEC on ABC. All day Saturday beginning at noon Eastern.
My name's Jordan Gaviria, and this is my business, Hacienda. I chose my Smart Cash Plus card from Capital One because I earn unlimited 2% cash back on everything I buy. And with no preset spending limit, my purchasing power adapts to my business needs. What's in your wallet?
Welcome aboard the Johnson family.
Yeah, they know us. When we arrive, be our guest is the vibe. Chilling with the crew. And wait, I told you there's an island, right? Yeah. Our magic is flowing. Yeah, you know it's all love. Because we came to play.
Top of the fourth from Houston, up here with Astros manager Joe. You said you had no hesitation going with Hunter Brown in an elimination game. We're seeing some of the reason why. What makes him so special in your mind?
You know, he's tough, his competitiveness, you know, he likes big moments, and it's a big moment, and I fully trust him for a game like this.
Joe, thank you so much, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Joe, and thank you all. As we start the top of the fourth, let's be honest.
Let's begin the top of the fourth. Matt Vierling, Riley Greene. We'll get things going here. Again, I give a little correction to myself. Again, I'm probably still just waking up a little bit as well with these back-to-back early day games. I'm more of a night owl, so this is a little bit complete difference to the schedule here. But we're happy to do this because we're calling Tigers postseason baseball games. We're used to calling Houston Astros postseason baseball games alongside Alec Nava in that mix as well. Again, I should be hooking back up with Alec Nava on the Tuesday banner drop for the Florida Panthers. So we're expecting that against the Boston Bruins. I think that's going to start about 7:10 on the Tuesday side. So hockey will get things going next week. But right now we got postseason wildcard action. 1-2 against Vierling as Hunter Brown continues to do the job. 91 on a slider. He wanted that one, but it was low and outside against Vierling. Make it 2-2. So Vierling, Greene, and Keith, 3-4-5, meet of the order here for the Tigers. This is not a home run hitting team in Detroit, but they will put the bat on the ball when they need to and get some clutch hits and have some decent pitching. That's what they've been able to show you. Matt Vierling strikes out. This is the second time right into the glove. It will be held on by Diaz. The sixth strikeout for Hunter Brown is absolutely doing work right now for Joe Espada's club. They need this one to be able to extend it into Thursday as we still sit scoreless in the top four. About 3:35 Eastern Time as we'll catch this one today on ABC, courtesy of the ESPN feed. I saw on the Bally Sports conglomerate alongside Sinclair, again, that's the main company, that the only baseball team they want to carry going into next year is the Atlanta Braves. They want out, they want the bankruptcy, they want all that stuff to go through. We just had all that dispute in between Comcast and Bally and who was going to carry everything, and now that's going to affect all the cable companies and everything else. Yankees have their own network with Yes. The everything in Detroit sports used to have Pass. Figure it out. That's how I have to throw that out there during this live play-by-play. Probably going to get busted back with a cutter because now it's going to really start to make everybody angry heading in 2025 because the Tigers are essentially a playoff team and you'll be missing watching them heading into next year. 2-1. 97 on a fastball. Again, the velocity has been right there. This one is a perfect strike, high and outside in the box, make it 2-2. Top right corner. Now he's going to try to dispatch Riley Greene. This is a 12-6. Greene able to get the bat hat on it. Chas McCormick, long series of strides. That's why he's in center field. Absolutely ran that one down and robbed a double there, Riley Greene at least, because he really put the screws to that one up in front of the bat head at 104 miles an hour. He hit it hard. Sometimes you hit it right at somebody. That was blasted. And Chas McCormick got on his horse, and he made a great play there. It'll leave it up to Colt Keith. Colt Keith is another one of those guys that can absolutely drive this baseball. The rookie was excellent this year, hitting 260, 92 on a cutter, 13 home runs, 61 RBI, 54 runs scored, 36 walks, 110 strikeouts for the 22-year-old. Again, his question mark coming in, he pretty much played the entire season, was his defense at second base. He's made all the plays that he's needed to make, and that's pretty much everything that you need to know. Because his bat, we already knew that was as advertised. I think his eye will continue to get better because strikeout prone for a rookie at 22 with 110. He does have 36 walks, but already hitting 260, just starting it. If he can continue to fortify his offensive game, there really is no reason why Colt Keith can't be an everyday infielder. 96 on a sinker, 2-1. He was ahead 2-0. And that was a challenge pitch there from Brown. 60 pitches into his day. It's light work right now for Hunter Brown. He just continues to bring the heat. He mixes in that fastball, sinker, cutter, 12-6, little changeup as well. All the pitchers are working for him right now. There really isn't anything that I can pinpoint to Hunter Brown and say, man, he missed on that one, or you can kind of key in on the pitch. There's nothing for the Tigers to key in right now. They just need to pretty much see ball, hit ball. That's pretty much as brass tacks as we can talk about with Hunter Brown because he's got everything working right now. You just got to be reactionary. 2-2. They request a new baseball. Try to get Colt Keith here to get a spotless fourth, and that was a cutter that did miss. That caught a whole hell of a lot of the plate at 93, and Colt Keith will follow it straight back. Colt Keith has had some extended at-bats, not the 9-pitch variety against Tarek School from Diaz and Bregman, but still about 5, 6, 7 here and there. 88 does not offer at the changeup. That's a good eye. You can see that Colt Keith wanted to go, but those strong hands kept the bat path back. Full count. Everybody just waiting for something to happen at Minute Maid right now. Full count pitch against Colt Keith. Pitch clock down to 2. Colt Keith. This one is short right to Jeremy Pena. Good strong arm to Victor Caratini. Full stretch. Does keep his foot on the bag, and the Tigers are turned away. It's still scoreless. Let's go bottom 4. Bregman, Diaz, Caratini, 4, 5, 6 do up.
So, what do you think of the pitch I came out there? Yes, the one that you emailed me. I remember the pitch. Things. Here we go. Very Victorian, which I loved. Unique relationship is formed. I love unique relationships with a twist. I know, because I read it. Great. I'm going to tell them you're interested.
go in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
You crazy? Let's rip out your chainsaws.
Smart.
If you're in a horror movie, you make 4 decisions. That's what you do. If you want to save on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
One great idea to change your life.
That's the American dream right there.
Always entertaining with you. And we believe Shark Tank season premiere October 18th on ABC and stream on Hulu. Monday night on ABC.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
We're back. Biggest, best season yet. Oh no, man. Here we go. What would you do?
You see somebody in trouble, fire. Can I give you a hug?
Yeah, cheers, your honor.
Thank you for standing up for us.
Oh my God! It's what would you do? I'm on it, girl.
Premieres Monday night on ABC.
Bottom of the 4th in Houston, I'm here with Tigers manager AJ Hinch and AJ. You promised pitching chaos in game 2. What can you tell us about the plan moving forward?
Everybody all on deck. Obviously, Scooble's not going to pitch today. We got 11 other guys. They're all available.
So AJ Hinch is getting interviewed right now on the ABC feed, and he said, "What's going on with the Chaos Day? Everybody's available except for Tarek Skubal." Well, there you go. That's your Chaos Day. So Brand Herter, I think he's still on the mound right now. Tigers bullpen 353, second in the AL, 114 whip, which is second, 224 on the OPS, which is third. So Brand Herter continues to try to do the job. He just had a third of an inning. It was a Tucker walk. Alvarez grounded out, and now it will be Alex Bregman for Joe Espada's squad, 94 on a sinker. So again, all hands on deck in this Chaos Day. That's what it was going to be aptly titled. And this would be absolute chaos if the Tigers ended up winning this one and going to the ALDS. That would be a whole other level of chaos. As Bregman had a pretty good rip at a changeup on the outside part of the box. 1 and 2. He tried to slash that one on the first base line. Bregman 260, 26 home runs, 75 RBIs, 79 runs, 44 walks, 86 strikeouts. Fastball was launched. It took Jake Rogers right out of the crouch. But this is just the beginning of the bottom of the 4th. John Under with you on the call. If you're looking for offense, you haven't found it just yet. Just one hit for both of these teams. And Bregman with a grand cut got a piece of the dirt near the left side of the box. And a piece of Jake Rogers as well, but it looks like he's okay. Again, when Alex Avila, the son of former GM Al Avila for the Tigers, who is a whole nother can of worms, as you take a look at Jake Rogers. I think he got hit right in the cup. And that sometimes happens. 2-2 does not get the call on a sweeper. That one was low outside. But Alex Avila got hit so hard in the mask where sparks came off of it. Again, he's no use to not getting hit with some of these pitches. Jake Rogers, same thing. That's just the life of the catcher. Full count pitch. 94 followed straight back. And again, I said this in game 1 a few times. I think it's the first time I can say this now for Alex Bregman in game 2. He missed a hittable sinker. I think he's just been out in front a little bit. That is the game of baseball. 3-2. This one he is not missing. Parker Meadows toward the track. Makes the catch just shy of the wall. 101 on the exit velocity. He grooved that sinker from Herter. The Meadows was there. He got his hand up. He braced for the wall. He made the catch. He was pretty close to it. Royals and Orioles, 4:30 on ESPN. Again, I think that is going to be a little bit earlier than what is broadcasted on ESPN. Probably about 4:10, I would think, 4:15, if they're going with that same start. But it's at 4:30 on the TV side for ABC. I think last time they said that in this game 1 for the Tigers between KC and Baltimore, they were about 15 minutes late on that call. So I think it's about 4:10, 4:15. Diaz. 94 and a sinker, and Jake throw this one back to Herder. So Herder, his location has been a little hit and miss here so far from the two batters he faced in the third, and now starting in the fourth, it's a 2-0 count against Diaz. These batters have had count leverage, which is going to have to force Herder to then throw strikes, which you can key in on, and that can get a little dangerous. Now for Diaz, still 16 home runs, about a 300 hitter. MLB catcher ranks first in batting average at 299. 2-1. This one sprayed off the cue. Parker Meadows able to cut it off, and Diaz will have to settle for a long single. So Diaz at 299, again, he had the hitter's leverage at 2-0. Just came across with a curveball that cut too much of the plate. And now he'll have to deal with the runner at first, and it'll bring up Victor Caratini. Just serve it right back up through right field, and the split in between Matt Vierling and Parker Meadows. So Victor Caratini is not really a home run threat, but he is a threat to put the bat on the ball. Oh, and he gets hit in the left leg. And now if you're AJ Hinch, what do you want to do here? Because you got Pena, Hayward, and McCormick. I think Herder is looking like he's on shaky ground at this point. That's just from what I see. He's been getting behind in counts. This time he hit him in the right leg, Victor Caratini, and that was one of the guys that you want to get. Chris Fetter is going to come out to the mound. I don't know if it's just going to calm Herder here or just to see if they want to continue this. I think his day could be done here for Herder because he's kind of looking shaky. He started that way from this third and now into this fourth in between the walk to Kyle Tucker, the ground out to Alvarez, and then falling behind in the count from Bregman Diaz and hitting Caratini and now leaving it up to Jeremy Pena. They'll disperse, and it's still going to be for Herder here through 2/3 completed. One hit, one walk. It hits Batman, and they're going to try to make sure that Herder finds a way to get through this. I don't know how I feel about it right now. If you're a Tigers fan, this is looking a little shaky. I know Pena had an off game yesterday with 3 strikeouts. Already drawn a walk. 86 on a changeup. Low and inside. Well, Brisky starting to get warm. Brisky had to close yesterday, and now he's going to be trying to work in these middle innings. Jeremy Pena, see if he can put up a crooked number. That's what Michael Kay said, the Yankees man. As this one is now 2-0 again. This is the third batter out of 4, in which Herder had started with a 2-0 count. 22 ALCS and World Series MVP was Jeremy Pena. 2-0. Should get something very good to hit at 93, and he takes it up high on a sinker. That should absolutely be blasted in the Crawford boxes, but 2-1. Have to slow down again here for Pena. If he gets that, he better groove it. That's what the Astros fans are thinking. I was thinking the same thing, just calling this game as fair as I can. Double play. This can be flipped over, and it's turned from second to first from short. Colt Keith able to get the job done from Trey Sweeney, and Herder gets the double play. It was Jenga blocks all over the place. It was going to maybe fall over itself, and the Tigers get out of the fourth. Let's go to the fifth. We're still scoreless.
Fire Law, official law firm of the Detroit Tigers. At Fire Law, we went for our clients because we want to succeed. We're homegrown, trial lawyers who don't leave anything on the table. Fire Law, all we do is win. The high score call, King of the League, 5 and 6. your new roommate?
Roommate? Mm-hmm.
Wow. I've been trying to join USAA for years.
Doc, you know it's for the military community and your families.
I know I can't join, but I could live in your house and ride in your truck. Both USAA insured.
Roommate? Roommate. USAA, auto, home, life, and pet.
This is the story of the one. The one who believes being prepared is not just.
Well, if the Tigers do end up winning this game, we'll be talking about that fourth inning for Brant Herter because it was shaky ground, a 2-0 count essentially on 3 of the 4 batters that he had to face in that fourth. It was a Diaz single, a Caratini hit by pitch, but Pena grounds into the inning-ending double play, and that keeps the score line at 0 as we head to the 5th.
Spencer Torkelson leads off, takes a pitch out front. Now our second base umpire.
So let's just get into this notes real quick before I get in the 5th, because if the Tigers end up winning this ball game, we're starting the 5th, we're still scoreless. But if they end up winning this ball game, we're going to be talking about the 4th, because Chas McCormick made a great catch on Riley Greene and was toward left center, able to get the full extension and be able to get that off the speed and catch it, robbing a double. But Brant Herter was still on the mound. He had a 2-0 count on 3 of the 4 batters that he faced. Was able to get out of it. A Yonder Diaz single. Victor Caratini got hit by a pitch, but Pena grounded into an inning-ending double play, and that's still why we're at 0. Hunter Brown, Michigan product in the Wayne State Warrior, is still on the mound here as Torkelson's got a 2-1 count to begin the 5th. Big cut on a sinker. I don't mind the swing there for Spencer Torkelson. It was just a little bit late. I'll scroll back up in my Detroit notes here, 6, 7, and 8. Torkelson, McKinstry, Sweeney. When we get into any sort of changes, that's going to allow, from the pitching staff side of it, at least for AJ Hinch, to go to some of his bench bats. He's got Justyn-Henry Malloy and the Ibanez, Wenceel, Perez, and Jace Young. 2-2. And Torkelson will follow it straight back. John here with you on the call. It's on the ABC local feed, so you don't need cable today, but it's being carried by ESPN, and then it'll switch in between ESPN and ESPN2 as we're going to get set for game 2s for all these wild cards and do it again. We'll see who advances today. We'll see who gets extended. 2-2. Pitch number 70 for Brown is a swing and a miss. Torkelson offers it a fastball way out and out of the zone. It's this chase and a 7th strikeout for Hunter Brown today, who continues to deal. So Zach McKinstry, they're showing him StatCast by Google Cloud. 70 miles an hour on the throw, been able to get deep in the hole at third and then deliver a bomb to Torkelson to get Altuve off the hop to essentially begin the ball game. McKinstry now at 96. Take a fastball way outside. I'll take Diaz out of the crouch. So Zach McKinstry again doesn't play a lot, former Cub, and mixed into it, but pretty good on the base pass as far as his running instinct. 16 for 16 on stolen bases. 87 on a changeup, a little bit out front of it. Brown continues to do the work, keeping the scoreline right where it is. That's the most important thing. But for Tigers, they've been able to counter with their bullpen chaos state and keep this scoreline at 0s. We'll see who blinks first. McKinstry, Altuve will make this play, this time off a running feed, taking a few steps to the left, and gets McKinstry by a good margin. Trace Sweeney is going to be the last hope in the 5th for the Tigers as we're still waiting for our first run of the ball game. Again, we didn't get a lot of runs yesterday. It was a 3-run outburst in the 2nd inning for Detroit. They had 10 hits, consistent action on the base paths. In the 4th, 5th, 7th, they had bases loaded. In the 8th, they couldn't score any extra runs. In game 1, they settled for their 3 2-out single RBIs in the 2nd inning. It was 3-1 in the 9th, but that's as far as it got as Bill Brisky had to come on in relief of Jason Foley to finish off that game. Trace Sweeney has 2-0 count leverage here against Brown. That'll be pitch number 76 upcoming as he missed on a couple of changeups. He gets set to dig back in. Nothing wrong with Hunter Brown's start. It's absolutely picture perfect here. Hasn't made any sort of mistakes just yet. It's a 3-0 count against Trace Sweeney. We'll see if Sweeney wants to find a way to work his way in the strike zone. And the way this game is going right now for Trey, if he gets anything in the strike zone in the middle, I just swing. That's what I'm going to say. 96, he'll take this one on the low right side of the box, near the lower right corner, make it 3-1. So be, effectively selected, but if it was in the middle, he'd swing. And that time, Sweeney, he just took a pitch because it was a pitcher's pitch. 3-1. He'll draw the walk. So Trey Sweeney does his job, and that means Jake Rogers will get one look at the top of the fifth before this lineup gets turned over for a third time. We haven't had a lot of turnover here, and we're waiting for something to happen between these two teams, but the pitching has done the job. Hunter Brown is a starter for Joe Espada, and AJ Hinch in his chaos bullpen day. So Hunter Brown is going to go ahead and get a new baseball, and for Yonder Diaz, Hunter Brown is just saying, my bad on that walk. We'll go ahead and get this next one. That's what we're thinking about right now. Win probability has the Astros at 58%. This is with the Tigers batting. 90 on a slider. Does get the call. High and outside, make it 0-1. You never like that as a catcher on the bat rack, being able to get strikes called against you when you're trying to frame it for your own team. 0-1. Pitch number 80. 97 in that same spot. This time it's called the ball out at 97. So Parker Meadows, if Jake Rogers should reach, would be due up next. The lefty bat is at the top of the order, as normally is with the opposite-handedness. But Jake Rogers, it's his time. 82 on a curveball. This 12-6 started high, and it fell to the top of the box. Make it 1-2. As the crowd starts to get to their feet, and they urge Hunter Brown to get to this fifth spotless. He's been spotless all day. Just the one walk for Trey Sweeney in this top five. Jake Rogers in a 1-2 count. Runner goes. And that is not close because the ball came out of Altuve's glove. So Trey Sweeney gets a stolen base. And Jake Rogers, as the base runner moves up 90 feet, has an opportunity to maybe score Sweeney with a single. Sweeney's got some decent speed. He's not Parker Meadows, but there would be enough to maybe gun anything for Chaz McCormick, who's got a decent arm in center field. And now Yonder Diaz will have a meeting of the minds here with this pitcher. Pretty good look there for Trey Sweeney. He did able to get the up glove in on the right side of the bag as Yonder Diaz throw went off Altuve's glove. So no problems there for the Tigers. They do take the extra 90 feet. It's still 2 outs with a 2-2 count against Jake Rogers when they get set to resume action after this short mound meeting here for Hunter Brown. As he'll grab the rosin bag and get set to go again. Jake Rogers is one of the ones that got everything kick-started in game one with a 2-out RBI single. It's 2 outs in the fifth. That was in the second in game one. Now it's in the fifth with a runner at second. Hunter Brown trying to make sure it stays right where it is. 2-2 count against Jake Rogers. Gets the sign from Diaz. Rocks and delivers. A swing and a miss. Hunter Brown does the job. Trey Sweeney walks and gets a steal. But that's all the Tigers can muster. Still scoreless. We go bottom five. Hayward, McCormick, Altuve, 8-9-1.
That's a big flex.
Now we got 3 and 1. It's all the same stuff.
Not really. It's like protection formulas, got T-bone chicken, chicken milk, brown rice, oatmeal, barley. Well, 3-1 has chicken, rice flour, gluten meal, whole grain corn, chicken byproduct meal. Switch to blue and feed your dog like family.
One thing we know is true, no matter race, gender, ethnicity.
The need to screen when new.
For colon cancer is a priority.
Indeed. Everyone 45 plus at average risk should screen for colon cancer. These folks are getting it done at home with me. Cologuard.
Cologuard is a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's effective and non-invasive. It's for people 45 plus at average risk, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider for Cologuard.
I did it right away.
True quality. authenticity. Does not fear the passing of time. It's worth the search. Big one.
Baseball is a sport, pero la verdad es que para nosotros el béisbol es otra cosa. El béisbol es un corrido, un dembow y un reggaetón prendido. Es un fracata y un cuadrata. Es otra cosa. It's the Plátano power and the Arepa power. It's a familiar name and juniors who dare to dream big. El béisbol es otra cosa. Welcome back to the 2024 Wild Card Series presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Get internet how you want it. Hey, the divisional round starts Friday on Fox and TBS. The winner of this series will take on Cleveland Saturday afternoon on TBS. Check MLB.com for start times and networks as matchups are finalized. Pinch hitter Mauricio Dubon pinch hit for Hayward with the lefty on.
So Mauricio Dubon is going to pinch hit for Jason Hayward as the lefty still on the mound. Brent Herter is still trying to get the job done. Again, MLB RotoWire had Reese Olson on deck. And now Dubon, as Joe Espada starts to press the buttons like A.J. Hinch has done, pinch hitter gets the base hit. And now we'll see what they want to do here as far as A.J. Hinch, continuing to say that all hands are going to be on deck. And Dubon will just split this right in between that hole at shortstop and third base. So pinch hit, base hit, the third of the game for the Houston Astros. No runs, 3 hits, 1 error. Tigers have just 1 hit. They've been absolutely shut down by Hunter Brown today. And if I have any sort of justifications here, get a little bit of a lead. You have Ryan Presley. You have the mix for Hader to be able to throw in there as well. And you got those bullpen arms that we talked about a lot for the Houston Astros that can do some damage alongside Brian Abreu, that once they get a small lead, they can absolutely close it down. So this is important. Chas McCormick trying to make sure that he gets Mauricio Dubon a little bit closer. So he's been used. They say he did not go. It was a half offer at a sweeper. 1-1 now. So Herter, 27 pitches into his day. He is the third arm out of the bullpen here for the Tigers. He's through an inning and a third right now. Brent Hanafy went an inning and 2/3. Tyler Holton had a clean inning to open this ball game as we're still scoreless. But Dubon is at first as he pinch hit for Hayward. McCormick took a big cut on a sweeper. He did not find it. Make it 1-2. Now McCormick is a home run threat. We talk about that a lot. But he's also a guy that is prone to the strikeout. Again, his average in the low 200s. That's the reason why. It's more strikeouts than anything else. But if he runs into it, he can hit it a long way. This is hit sharply. McCormick runs well, and Colt Keith bobbles the transfer. They will get the out at second long enough, according to the umpire. Bobbles the transfer from Sweeney was Colt Keith. I don't know if they had enough time anyway to get Chas McCormick. We'll see if Joe Espada wants to challenge. So Sweeney fields this ball, tosses a second. He did step on the bag, and he had the baseball in his hands when it went to second. So lost it on the transfer, should be able to get the out at second. So I don't think that there is going to be any other issues here with the exception of the transfer. So Colt Keith can't complete the double play, but that will mean that we'll get another pitch and change. Brent Herter's day is done, and now Jose Altuve will get a chance against a new pitcher when we come back.
Check this out. Let's say you want to build your own parlay, okay? ESPN Bet now has profit boosts that you can use to increase your winnings. If I parlay this money line with these points and total yards, that is boost.
You want me to boost your latte?
Boost it, baby.
Boost it. Enjoy your boost.
Profit boosts all new parlay lounge up to $1,000 in bonus bet for the first bet reason on ESPN Bet.
Question. If you can't see what's behind all this, how do you already know it's cheap? Probably the same way you know if a T-Rex is chasing a Jeep Wrangler.
He's getting away.
Yep. Or if it takes you places that make you say, and that hair looks like this, or someone says, then you just know what it was, what it is, and what it always will be. Because when you're an original, it's what's up at DQ? Choose saucy Hinch baskets, all lightly cured in your truck. Any famous flavors like honey barbecue or Parmesan garlic. Hurry in. We enjoy flavors at DQ. DQ, happy taste. We're surprised at Twisted Tea Superfans with a Twisted Tea Drop. Twisted Tea tastes like real iced tea because it's made with real blue tea and 5% alcohol to give off 4G. Twisted Tea Bar iced tea. Keep it twisted. Welcome to the Cheerios Obstacle Course.
You were right there.
Yeah, it is. But I got the Honey Nut Cheerio choo-choo train.
Win the day with the Kelsey's favorite cereals.
Bo Brisky, 3.59 ERA. He pitched a lot this year, and he closed out the game yesterday. A lot of nail bite when he came in, but he got out of it that line drive by Hayward to Torkelson.
So Tiger-like. He gets the last out yesterday. He's pitched in the 5th inning today.
Altuve at the plate. Foul fly ball. Center field. Meadows makes the cut. For out number 2, so Altuve has the good one. Jumps on the first pitch.
So Bob Risky is the new pitcher facing Jose Altuve. In the first pitch, Altuve tries to give it a ride right to deep center field. But Parker Meadows is right there. Again, Tim Kirchin talked about it in the 4 at-bats yesterday. 3 of them jumped on the first pitch. Or kind of made that reference. Last time up to Jose Altuve, he likes to jump on that first pitch. You got a good pitch to hit, but Brisky able to get him out. And now Brisky tosses over, uses a disengagement for Chas McCormick, who is at first. He's now the lead runner. Again, it was responsible for Dubon. Dubon was the out at second, and now McCormick, the new runner at first, as a double play was not turned. As Tucker will get an opportunity here. 89 miles an hour on a changeup. I just keep waiting for the Houston Astros top 6 of this lineup, as far as their batting lineup, to come through and get some big hits. And Kyle Tucker is one of those guys that can absolutely do so and make this a 2-0 game. Big, grand cut on a changeup there. Does not find it. 1-1. Bo Brisky, again, we talk about Tyler Holton to open this game in the first. He had to come through and close yesterday in relief of Jason Foley. So Tigers will use anyone and everyone in any situation. 1-1 as the pitch clock down to 2. 98 was a perfect pitch from Brisky. Down on the right side of the box, right on the black. Make it 1-2. Should Tucker reach, it'll be Yordan Alvarez, and then Alvarez, Bregman, and Diaz, 3, 4, 5, if it goes in that order. Tucker. Runner goes, and Jake Rogers gets a pretty good throw there to Chas McCormick. And that was probably one of the better throws that I've seen from Jake Rogers. If there's one thing, he knows how to call a game. He knows how to frame everything very well. He's a very good catcher as far as all that done. As far as throwing runners out, don't really feel like Jake Rogers does that a whole heck of a lot, but it also is very dependent, to be fair, on the types of jumps that everybody else gets. So now with the runner at second, Trey Sweeney had this opportunity in the top 5. Tucker's got it now. 99 on the black, and Bo Brisky says, see you later to Kyle Tucker as we go to the 6th. Parker Meadows, Carpenter, and Vierling. That's a big punch out.
When it comes to tickets, pick TickPick. You're picking the best prices guaranteed. With no hidden fees at all. Pick from thousands of live bets. No hidden fees, more savings. Download the TickPick app.
All these hockey ads on TNT and TBS are just getting me pumped for next week, and I know that's ESPN there as the season starts Tuesday. Can't wait for the puck to drop next Tuesday. Alec Nava and I will be here with you for the Bruins and the Panthers. And that'll be at good old FLA Live again. Forgetting to keep changing the name, but that'll be the banner drop for Chucky and the boys. They'll see that one, and I cannot wait for it. So Vegas had the slot machine, the banner drop. I wonder what the Panthers are going to do. They might have to take an extra 20 minutes or so when we get to that side for hockey on Tuesday and that banner drop for maybe some rat cleanup potentially for those plastic rats. So if you're just joining us, John out here with you on the call. Again, I appreciate you guys being here. We're heading to the 6th inning. Still waiting for the first run of the ball game. I don't mind it. It keeps things easy breezy right now, unless we go into extra innings. Now, for playoff rules, we do not have that ghost runner at second. It goes back to the normal stuff should we get to it, because we're in the 6th right now. We're still scoreless.
Game 2, 0-0 as we go to the 6th of the Tigers' order against Hunter Brown.
So we go back to the top of the order here. First pitch is popped up in amongst the screens, so Parker Meadows will get to stay right where he is. I was just waiting for the camera cut. Again, win probability for the Houston Astros keeps going up on the ESPN ABC side of it. Again, it's all the same company for Disney, but that keeps going up because of that back-end bullpen that the Astros feature. And Parker Meadows gives this one a big swing. Is this going to be fair? This goes off the pole. It's gone. Parker Meadows does it again. 1-0 Detroit, and they get their first lead of the ball game here in the 6th. 100 miles an hour off the foul pole, and the Tigers take the lead. What does he not do? He is clutch when it gets into the late innings. Parker Meadows, he just does not know when to stop in clutch situations, and I don't mind it. He went and got a fastball, and he drove it to right field off the pole. Kerry Carpenter now lets into a big swing. It was Hunter Brown's first mistake of the day, courtesy of number 22, Deuce Parker Meadows. Hits it off the pole in right field, and the Tigers have taken the lead. And now this bullpen day carousel will continue for Detroit, as we talked about. And I wonder how they're going to close it, because you still think about some of the other arms you have. 95, Kerry Carpenter. This is a slow roller. Carpenter trying to hustle down the line. But Altuve will get it to Caratini. So some fireworks to finally begin the 6th inning. Parker Meadows had a really good cut at this fastball as we get a glorious camera shot on ABC. And this is just inside of the 326 marker. And it looks like we have a viewing party at Comerica Park alongside Paws and the kids in the alternate Motor City jerseys. They're fired up, so that's pretty cool. I didn't know they had that down there. It'd be nice to actually do a broadcast down there with the crowd noise, but it is nice being at home able to watch the game. 0-1. It's nice to actually call Tigers postseason baseball, because we didn't expect that, let alone the Royals as well. The Cleveland Guardians probably expected that, but you had the Twins, the Royals, and the Tigers all competing for a postseason spot, and only 2 of them in the Central could make it. The Twins fell apart. Tigers rose above everything, and the Royals essentially kind of closed everything out they needed to in the end. Matt Vierling will find a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and he'll stay with it at 90 pitches in Hunter Brown's day. Again, he just needs run support. He's been brilliant here for the Astros. Just got to find a way to get him some runs. 0-2. Vierling will keep it alive again. This time the bat head was a little bit earlier on that fastball. I would dare say that he just missed it. That one up in the zone. 92 pitches in the Browns' day. Now the win probability went from Tigers at 61%, so I don't follow all that stuff until you get to 27 outs. I just find it very interesting at a 0-0 that was so slanted for the Astros. But again, I think that takes into account the computer metrics, Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley, and Josh Hader. and that's understandable. But right now, this is still Hunter Brown's inning, and Joe Espada's got to be thrilled with what he's got from his arm, but he needs some offense here. 1-2. Now Vierling takes strike 3 on a sinker. That was right there. He needed to swing at it. He did not. 9 strikeouts for Hunter Brown as he continues to just mow down these Tigers hitters. Now it'll be up to Riley Greene right in the middle of the order as A.J. Hinch works his way to the top step. That might mean he's going to start to either make another pitching change or he'll just take another key look here. So the first lefty that we saw to lead off in the 6th was Parker Meadows, and he took Hunter Brown deep. That was the only run of the game so far. Tigers' last 5 postseason appearances, oh man, don't remind me. I don't want to look at that. Between losing the World Series in 2006 and 2012, losing in 5 games to the Cards, then 4 to the Giants, not even being competitive. Some very good teams loaded with a bunch of stars that couldn't get it done, some Hall of Famers, and this is a bunch of kids. Riley Greene. So it's completely different when you look at that landscape. If you're a fan of any of these Detroit teams, especially the Tigers, that it gives you a completely different level of optimism and wonder, because you see runs like this in baseball from time to time, but it almost feels like Cinderella, like the pumpkin and this and that. You feel like it's going to run out at some point, but the Tigers find a way to just keep defying all odds, convention, and logic, putting it down, getting 27 outs, and finding a way to get a victory after all of it. They just keep finding a way. Right now, they finally take the lead in the 6th. It's only 1-0 though. Riley Greene's got a 3-1 count. See if he gets big. He does, and a changeup. I don't blame him there. That was a good located changeup there for Hunter Brown. This is going to be just outside of 100 pitches. He's through 5 2/3 innings, and the only batter that burned him was Parker Meadows with a solo shot to start this 6th. 2 outs to go into it though. 3-2. Riley draws the walk. So right at 100 pitches, Hunter Brown. I think Joe Espada is going to say that's enough. It was a glorious outing for the Wayne State product from Michigan man with the Tiger tattoo on his arm. He did a great job today, but he needs some run support. He's going to be responsible for Greene at first, but that's it and that's all. Hunter Brown was fantastic. He should get an absolute gigantic hand from this crowd. And I think that they're going to go ahead and make the hook and grab the baseball. So we'll step aside for this final out of the 6th, and he will get that giant round of applause, and it's well deserved. I would give it to him if I wasn't rooting for the Tigers. My goodness. We'll see you in a second.
Top 10 hit basketball deserved. 2 hits, 1 run, 9 strikeouts. That was tremendous, and it's only coming out of the game because they have such a deep, versatile bullpen. They have tremendous arms on the way. Otherwise, they keep him in. That's how good he was.
Yeah, he was dominant too, and watching him throughout this whole game here today, he established that head. I think as a pitcher nowadays, people throw so hard, but you gotta have pinpoint control in his style. He can come to his own. As you see some of these strikeouts right here, 94-mile-an-hour plus, they have them up to 98, 99. When you're establishing up in the zone, who else looks that much harder to hit? And he did give up 1 pitch that I thought was well located. The jump off the Meadows was looking in there, no problem. Go down over the wall again. Outstanding job, 99 pitches, 5 2/3, 9 Ks. And when you're a young man like that, to step up in the cauldron of a must-win situation and pitch that way, that's pretty impressive. So he has nothing to hang his head about because his offense is not cooperating.
And that's why he got game 2, and that's why there was no.
So I'll take a look at this right now as Brian Abreu begins to warm. Again, they just pulled Hunter Brown with an eve of 100 pitches, who was excellent today. He is responsible for the green walk at first with 5 2/3, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, only burned by a Parker Meadows leadoff homer to begin the 6th. And we'll see now A.J. Hinch can kind of play hot potato, as he usually does with some of these pinch hitters if they want to. Colt Keith is the next batter due up. He's the lefty against this righty. You got Justyn-Henry Malloy, Andy Ibanez, a couple righties there. Colt Keith will get this opposite-handed matchup, and they'll feel good about it. But If they do go to Josh Hader, you got Malloy, you got Ibanez, you got Wenceel Perez, who hasn't started today. It kind of makes me wonder if Wenceel Perez is dealing with a little bit of an injury alongside that hip. Want to know? Or if he's just getting the day off. Again, if the Tigers do win, you would get a couple extra days off here, which would be great for Wenceel Perez because they're going to want him back in the lineup. 2-0 count against Cole Keith. Against the new arm and Brian Abreu. As Hunter Brown is talking with Justin Verlander. What a luxury to have him in there. Be able to talk to and kind of shoot the breeze and figure out what pitches work and what not. But you got to be very happy if you're an Astros fan with what Hunter Brown gave you today. You just need offense. 99 pitches. He was absolutely excellent. Really only the one pitch to Parker Meadows, which really wasn't even a mistake. 2-1. Way outside on a fastball, so maybe Brian Abreu is not entirely warm yet. As Cole Keith has 3-1 count leverage. The Astros fans starting to boo, but there really wasn't much you can boo about. That was about 4 pitch lengths outside. 3-1. That is inside. Cole Keith will discard the bat, take his walk. Spencer Torkelson, the righty at first. Though Torkelson is the guy that you normally would not take out because he is your everyday first baseman. Again, you only have one lefty on the bench unless you're going to go with Wenceel Perez, but Jace Young is the third base infielder. So then they're probably going to stick right here with Torkelson. Not going to make any changes as far as anything else until maybe you get to that top of the order with Kerry Carpenter on the DH side for Andy Ibanez. We'll see if that continues to be a handedness issue as we continue to get some camera shots. So Torkelson runners at first and second as Keith just got his walk. Riley Greene is at second with a walk as well, and that was responsible from Hunter Brown. But Abreu trying to keep it right where it is. The Tigers have a 1-0 lead as we're 2 outs into the 6th. Parker Meadows with the solo jam. That's it, and that's all so far in this game. Some very excellent arms for Joe Espada to go to in the Astros bullpen. Torkelson, 98 on a 4-seam fastball, high and outside as he's patient. They get 1-1. Again, he got it big a couple times here in the zone. Not as selective as you want to be just yet, but there's still time for Torque to figure things out. Maybe a better time to do so is right now, 86. That was in the honey hole. One inside slider that could have been carved right into his bat path. He does not swing at it. Torkelson 0 for 2. He reached for an error. 0 for 2 for 2 walks and 2 strikeouts in game 1. And strikeout here in game 2 to start. I think he might already have a couple. I'd have to look at those stat lines again. Could have one right now with a 1-2 count against Abreu. He is a very deadly bullpen arm for Joe Espada. Here's the pitch. 99 does not get the call. Low outside. That was outside the zone, but that was awfully close. Torkelson shows the eye. That was outside the zone as they keep cutting to Justin Verlander. I don't want to say this as a Tigers fan, but I hope this is the last time I see Justin. Torkelson, we won't see him for a little bit longer unless it's on the defensive side as Brian Abreu strikes him out. Yordan Alvarez, Bregman, and Yonder Diaz will be due up. Bottom 6 Astros need to start scoring some runs. They trail just by 1 as we go to bottom 6.
For views like this, you got to get out there. In a Ford Bronco, where pavement doesn't exist, over any type of terrain. See the world from every angle. Enjoy open-air freedom. And capture another day anywhere in a Ford Bronco.
Easy plan trade-in lessees can be surprisingly big Ben for only $349 a month.
Let's give you an update. We finally got an update in the scoring box. We haven't had a scoring update until now as we head toward the bottom six. Astros up to the bat rack. 1-0 Detroit, courtesy of Parker Meadows with the solo shot.
And I still check GoodRx.
I'm on Medicare. I check GoodRx because it can beat my copay. Who wouldn't like that? Even if you have insurance.
So it's going to be about 10 minutes or so that Camden Yards, they'll kick off game 2, Baltimore Orioles and the Kansas City Royals. Royals shut out the Baltimore Orioles 1-0. Lucas Ursig able to get that save and finish off the game as the Royals lead the ALDS. Tigers lead their ALDS 1-0. That's the featured game we're covering. Mets take the game on the road as well. And the Padres were the only home team of the wild card to actually take game 1. They're playing game 2 against the Braves in ESPN 2 about 8:30 Eastern. Mets and Brewers kick off about 7:30 Eastern. So Bo Brisky back on the mound here for Detroit. It's a 2-0 count against Yordan Alvarez. Got to be careful here. So Bo Brisky is the 4th pitcher out of the bullpen. Does not swing at a changeup. It is 3-0 against Yordan. Bobrisky, 2/3 of an inning with 1 strikeout. Was able to get Kyle Tucker the last time around. Now he's got to deal with Yordan Alvarez in a 3-0 count, and he did not come close to the strike zone there. So Yordan will take his free pass. Anytime you think about Yordan Alvarez, I don't mind any walks, but to lead off an inning, that is not what you want. But we'll see if anything comes from that. So let's go back into the Houston part of the notes. I've told you this through game 1. I've told you this a little bit in game 2. I try not to repeat it as much ad nauseum. But Alex Bregman is absolutely due. He has been on the baseball. He's hit quite well. He's been out in front here and there, but he's had pitches to hit that he's not come through on at times, and you think at some point that is going to break the mold. 1-0. 5 straight balls here from Brisky. This is 96. This will be right to Riley Greene. Will make the basket catch, and Bregman is turned away. A little bit of a sound issue on the ABC side, but that's not going to affect me as far as doing the call. John, I'm with you. I'm watching this one at home, but it is ABC on Channel 7 for the local side for Michigan. Again, any local channels will pick this one up today as ESPN carries it. ESPN and ESPN2 will be the site of the wildcards as it continues through Thursday, should we need it all. It'll be an opportunity now for Yonder Diaz. A big cut at a changeup. Will not find it. As again, the catcher and the MLB ranks this season 299 was the top average. 16 bombs, 84 RBI. He can do a lot of damage. 0-1 count here for Diaz. This one grounded. McKinstry will make the throw over. Double play gets turned for the Tigers, and Bo Brisky does the job yet again. They walk Alvarez. They get the out and then turn in the double play, and we'll go right to the 7th, and we'll do it quickly. 1-0 Tigers.
It's been 10 years since the Tigers made the postseason, and their opponent, the Astros, have been playing October baseball of the last 8 seasons. And thanks to Lucas Cloud AI, fans see their closer look at the improbable wildcard matchup. Detroit's pitching has been fantastic all year. The Tigers' barrel percentage again is at just 6.7%. That's still pretty healthy baseball. That might not be an issue for Houston because while their barrel percentage is middle of the pack, they're second in all of baseball with an expected batting average of .261 even without throwing the ball. They win 70 production and generate hits. With this data, the Astros can take advantage of any ball play, but if the Tigers can continue to use barrels, it'll help their chances of advancing in October. For more insights, visit MLB.com/StatCast powered by Google Cloud.
Be right back, and we'll get in the 7th.
A ball going 440 feet with a 107-foot peak would be a home by the river, but not by the pool. It wouldn't make a dent in the crown, but it would get lost Forest, dig the Big Apple, short passes by, and even off the track. Catch the game like never before with Google Cloud AI.
Three innings in the Astros season, unless they rally against a Tiger bullpen that is pretty darn tough. It'll be the bottom third of the Tiger order. Against Brian Abreu, who came on to get the final out of the sixth inning. And McKinstry takes Sloan inside 1-0. McKinstry 1 for 2, a double and a ground ball second. 3 hits for the Astros, just 2 for the Tigers, but 1 for 2. The home run off the bat of Parker Meadows. It's Sherkley on 1 hop, 2-2 from the outfield grass. He makes the play. Away.
So we get set for the 7th. Zach McKinstry grounds out to second base. Altuve completes the play. Right to Victor Caratini. And then we're going to go back up to the Tigers order here as we'll take a look at who is up next in Trey Sweeney. So 7, 8, 9 due up in the top 7 here for Detroit. The only run of the game was a Parker Meadows solo shot in the 6th as an inside fastball. Gets called for a strike. Again, they're having a little bit of radio sound issues. And oh my goodness, who is getting warm right now in the bullpen for Detroit? Starting to give me some heart palpitations is Jackson Jobe. It looks like they lost the box feed on ESPN. So we're going to have to try to just do this invisibly as far as calling balls and strikes, but that was a 12-6 from Abreu that dropped in. So Jackson Jobe starting to get warm in the bullpen. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not going to say yes, and I'm not going to say no. I just want to see 9 more outs go across that board. That's all I care about. Trey Sweeney. This will be right to Abreu. Soft toss over to Caratini, and Sweeney's turned away, and it'll leave it up to Jake Rogers. So, again, all hands on deck. AJ Hinch did say that, but I guess no need to put a gun to his head, whether it's a cap gun or not. And again, I try to say this figuratively. Don't want to be talking about anything too dangerous. But he says he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's a man that keeps his word. And Jackson Jobe might see some postseason time against this lineup. Jake Rogers, this one slammed the foul ball down the first base line, and we'll do it again. So I'll do my best to try to look at these pitches inside the box and call them fairly. Because, again, I don't see this on the TV side anymore. They lost that on ESPN feed. 0-1 pitch. He swings and misses, does Rogers in a slider. That was low. And on the just down, straight down in the zone, they have to dive bomb, make it 0-2. And as ESPN's have a little bit of problems, at least they didn't lose the video feed. Otherwise, I'd have to listen to Dan Dickerson, which isn't a bad thing, but then also call the game at the same time. Swing and a miss. Jake Rogers blown away with a 99 from Abreu. So Abreu coming out of the bullpen, he does his job immediately. Victor Caratini, Jeremy Pena, and Mauricio Dubon, although they'll have to change that because we'll see what they'll bring in. 6, 7, 8 due up for Joe Espada squad as we get set to stretch. Still 1-0.
Everyone 45 plus at average risk should screen for colon cancer. These folks are getting it done at home with me. Cologuard is a one-of-a-kind way to screen for colon cancer that's especially diagnosed. It's for people 45 plus at average risk, non-high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider for Cologuard.
I did it my way. Look who's joining us for my favorite part of the day.
Cheerios on this love language.
Well, yeah, they can help lower cholesterol. Okay.
I love it. My love language is Portuguese. I don't understand it, but I love how it makes me feel. There's news. And there's good news. Like thousands of patients receiving free life.
So I'm going to tell you this honestly, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to call this game down the middle as much as I can, knowing that the Tigers haven't been in the postseason in over 10 years and what's there. But I think Jackson Jobe is making his playoff debut. We've seen him do that at Comerica Park in a scoreless, I believe it was the ninth, against the Tampa Bay Rays. They'll finish that one out. He got a video tribute and everything before he even made his first pitch. He making his postseason debut maybe against Victor Caratini, and I feel like I'm going to lose my lunch. And I'm going to try to stick with it here, and I'm going to try not to be so completely nervous, but I'm really hoping that Jackson Jobe just puts his big boy pants on. He just pitches it like any other game and continues to just do the job. He can throw 100. He's got a couple off-speed pitches that he can go to. I'll have to look at Baseball Savant the next way through and kind of get his arsenal down because you really don't know what his arsenal is. You only seen him for the first 3 outs. You heard about it in AA, AAA between the Erie Seawolves, the Toledo Mud Hens. Now he's going to get an opportunity to get some critical outs in the postseason for the Detroit Tigers. So he said all hands on deck today, AJ Hinch. I guess he meant it when he talked about Jackson Jobe. I thought that might have been the one guy they didn't use. But we also heard from some of the pundits here that Jackson Jobe might be used like David Price was when he began his career with the Tampa Bay Rays. So this is absolutely ridiculous. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is absolutely ridiculous, but here we are. Jackson Jobe, just a game in the regular season, 4 innings, 13 strikeout rate, 6 walk rate as far as percentage. He is making his postseason debut for the Detroit Tigers. Jackson Jobe as electric as they come. I think it's a cutter fastball, but he starts his first pitch on a cutter inside, and it hits Victor Caratini. It's the second time actually that Caratini's been hit in this ball game. So Jackson Jobe is going to have to get through some of his nerves. So am I, in the way that this game might go. But it's the final 9 outs that Detroit needs, and all the Houston Astros need is one swing. We're still waiting for the box to pick back up here on ESPN, as this one is slammed foul. But we're still going to try to call balls and strikes and do the play-by-play effectively as a cutter makes it 0-1. We'll scroll back into the Astros lineup here in Jeremy Pena, as this is a call on a cutter. That's a strike. Jake Rogers framed it there for Jackson. Again, you want somebody to lead you. That's Jake Rogers. They just kind of command whatever he puts up there as far as his signs. 0-2. Caratini hit by a pitch at first as we start the 7th. Inside on a sweeper there from Jackson Jobe against Pena. Make it 1-2. Keep that focus. Just find that baseball, lock it in the net wherever Rogers throws it. That's all I can say to this young man. Trust your stuff. 1-2. Here's a pitch low on a sweeper at 88. Make it 2-2. I'm not saying AJ Hinch is wrong, and it'd be easy to play 50-50 hindsight whether this is a win or a lose. But Jackson Jobe is the guy of the future, and you're going to bring him right into the fire. Jeremy Pena, Meadows on his horse. This will drop in front, and Jackson Jobe is going to have to deal now with some traffic on the base paths. This was the only thing that I worried about bringing him into this game here in the 7th, because you used Tyler Holton just for the 1 inning. You've already gone through Brent Herter. You haven't used Sean Gunther yet. You got Ty Madden, Kenta Maeda, Jason Foley, Casey Mize, Will Vest. Who do you want to throw to? I mean, honestly, if Jackson Jobe does get through this, Will Vest might be coming in. Will Vest, I mean, he was amazing yesterday, but it was through an inning and 2/3. And now Jackson Jobe is going to have to take a couple extra breaths here. I think it's very smart that the Tigers come out there right now, get this meeting on the mound, and calm down this young man, because you don't want this game to get out of reach. And also, again, you only need to win 1 extra game here, either close out the series or for the Astros to send this into sudden death for Thursday. It's just a 1-run game. So this could get away from Jackson Jobe very quickly. 2 runners on. First 2 on in the bottom 7. Parker Meadows with a solo jam. That's still where we are. Mauricio Dubon will be the batter. First plate appearance from him, leaving for Jason Hayward. Looks like he might be showing bunt. Now he fakes it. So they're going to try to mess up with Jackson Job's time. A little bunt cheese holding that triangle button on that PS5 controller. Dubon trying to pull out all the stops. The crowd's starting to get loud. Job's going to be thrown right in the fire here. Fake the bunt again. 98 on a four seam. Dubon knows exactly what he is doing as he's getting the signs over from Joe Espada and company. 2-0. Jackson Job got to lock in big time, and they'll cross over, get the signs. Jake Rogers comes out as he did a little fake pitch com thing. He needs to have a confab with his catcher. Devon doesn't mind that because I think he's licking his chops right now against Jackson Job. That was the only thing I said open going into there. If you're going to learn, you got to throw it into the fire, no doubt about it. He said, I can't hear you on the pitch comp situation. Now Jackson Job is starting to receive some of the boos because they're going to need to get some new batteries here and kind of lock this in as far as their helmets. So you got the umpire blocking across, you got the communication across to make sure Jackson Job can hear Jake Rogers and get back into it. Again, this will just either relieve some tension or add some tension into an already 2-0 count for the youngster against the Astros, who need this game and are down 1-0. They do have runners at first and second. If there was going to be any way to get this game done, it would have to be the hard way. That's really the only way you can say it right now, as we get a little bit of a delay on the pitch count. So everybody lock in here. Here's the bunt. McKinstry fields. He can't get anybody. DeBon's safe. The bases are loaded with Astros. To begin the seventh, they bring in Jackson Job. Any sort of relief, it's not there right now. The Tigers are in a world of trouble, and the youngster is going to have to pull an a la Max Scherzer to try to find a way to get out of this with the bases loaded and nobody out. McKinstry didn't have a play. I think he made the right call because you don't want to throw it away. You don't want to gift the Astros runs. If the Tigers can get out of this giving up one run, they'll absolutely take it, but now they'll have to deal with John Singleton for Chas McCormick. So that will go ahead and kind of change some things. Whether you still got Jake Myers there to play in the outfield. How is Jackson Job going to tightrope his way out of the fire here? I don't know how. I really don't see how Jackson Job gets out of this with maybe 3 runs. I think that's got to be the bare minimum here for Jackson Job. And you absolutely don't want that if you're a Tigers fan. 83 on a changeup, not close. I was wondering and feeling very nervous about Jackson Job coming in. Again, not to say he couldn't do this at some point, but just not now. Not against the Astros. This is a foul on a cutter. We still don't have the box. It was an inside cutter. Popped straight back in amongst that catcher screen and the fans. Every reason to stand. You got to believe they're at least going to get, I said 3 runs, maybe 2, but 3 runs. Singleton swings and misses on a changeup that already hit the plate. He had no business swinging at that right now. There's no reason to get too big against a pitcher and a rookie that hasn't found the zone and is feeling a little bit nervous, you would imagine. Don't help him out. Singleton waiting on the 1-2. Jackson Job set to deliver from Rogers. Good block by Jake. Make sure the runners stay where they are. The ducks in the pond, everything's full right now. Gut check time for the Tigers. The Astros probably can win this game here in the bottom of the 7th, no outs and bases loaded. 2-2. Pitch number 14 for Jackson Job. This is grounded. Diving play. Torkelson can't get the out at first. Everybody's safe again. Torkelson trying to make the hero play. Diving at first. In and out of the glove of Jake Rogers. Let's just go to game 3. I know we got plenty more to call here with the 8th and 9th, but this feels like this game is over. and I'm saying this now as a Tigers fan, with the bases loaded and nobody out and bringing in Jackson Jobe, I felt going into this that this game was probably done. I'm not trying to be negative toward Jackson Jobe, but that's just the way it is. It's all hands on deck. Why not think about Reese Olson? Why not think about a couple other guys in there? Again, it's easy to second guess up to 50-50, but more qualified arms that you would kind of expect here. And this is a baptism by fire here for Jackson Jobe, and it's crumbling around the Tigers right now when you don't have any leeway because tomorrow that's it. Jose Altuve, first pitch swinging. Are they going to be able to make the catch? Vierling doesn't see it. Now makes the catch. Foul territory toward right field. Safe! Gets the run anyway. That was shallow right field. And the Astros take the lead. Altuve does his job. That was not a very deep fly ball, but it doesn't matter. They'll take the extra 90 feet. Vierling did not track it well. And I don't think the throw was exactly what he wanted behind it. And now the Astros take a 2-1 lead. That was very heads-up base running. That was a close play, but going to be able to get that extra run in. And that's going to be the end of Jackson Jobe. An absolute disaster for Jackson Jobe as the bases get loaded. The Astros plate 2. And Jackson's day is done. He's going to feel about as sick as he possibly can. But now the Tigers have to turn the page. They've got to keep the scoreline right where it is because now you got to deal with Presley and Hader up forward as well. So Astros have this right where they want it. Tigers go to the bullpen. Not saying Jackson Jobe can't do this in the future, but I don't think that was the right call. I would have went probably to Gunther, which is what they're doing right now. When you think about who is in the Tigers bullpen, and it was going to be all hands on deck either way, whether he had to go to Reese Olson, Ty Madden, Casey Mize, Carter Montero, somebody. Hell, I don't want to say this in a negative light, but I would have rather went to Kenta Maeda than go to Jackson Jobe. And I don't think that that's a thing I should say comfortably, but it's just the truth for the matter of the moment where it is right now. At some point, you have to find a way to get him in there, but you got to do that with a big lead, not when it's a 1-0 game. I know it's easy to second guess now, but I just don't know. I don't know if that's the right call. And right now, it doesn't look like it. So Jackson Jobe still responsible for the runners at first and third. Sean Gunther's going to come up and clean up this mess. Then he induces the ground ball. This would be huge. Turns the double play for Detroit. Houston does take the lead with 2-1 as Jackson Jobe made a mess of the situation. Again, he'll come through in future situations. That was not the time to do so, though. But Gunther induces the double play. Astros could have scored more. They will settle for 2. They'll take the lead, and now they got the best of their best in their bullpen, trying to finish this game off and go to game 3. We'll see what happens. We'll start the 8th.
This is you.
Let me say this in both ways possible so I can try to keep this story as 50-50 as I can. You can look at it in a vacuum and say the Astros only have 3 runs through 2 games almost completed. And if you're the Tigers, you're going to take that 100 out of 100 times. But given the situation, that's the margins in which you win baseball games. And things got away from Jackson Jobe a little bit in that 7th.
Parker Meadows leads off against the new Astro pitcher Ryan Presley.
So the box still hasn't loaded as far as their call and everything else. They're having some issues in the truck, but it's still got the TV feed as they go to the backup. Most importantly now for the Houston Astros, they have the lead. Jackson Jobe, I guess he stopped the entire world from crumbling, but the 2 runs, that's going to turn out to be very big because now you can go to Presley Hater and wrap this thing up like a nice little Christmas present and go to Thursday. It's really what's in front of you right now. So Ryan Presley against Parker Meadows. Try to do it again. He's got the only run for the Tigers. Looks like strike 3 on a curveball. See you later. Parker Meadows is dusted. And again, the tenor of my voice and everything else probably shoot up a little bit lower because you know that 7th inning with a couple runs, that's probably the baseball game. Still got 5 more outs for Detroit, but I don't think we're going to have to go to the bottom 9 for Houston. Kerry Carpenter, Matt Vierling, 2-3 as we go to the top of the order. Kerry Carpenter's got to walk into one, at least try to find a way to get a walk, get on base. 82 on a curveball. This one hits in the dirt. He did not look good on his first couple plate appearances. Punching out 0 for 3 with a strikeout, 0 for 2 in game 1, so 0 for 5. Definitely have to say that he's due. This is a power bat the Tigers need. They got to find some sort of life as they're dealing with some technical difficulties with the sound in the box. And slider not close. That one bounces in the dirt. 2-0 now here for Kerry Carpenter. Top 8. Houston has just scored 2 runs in the bottom 7. Jackson Jobe came in relief. The rookie was making his playoff debut. It was bases loaded, nobody out. And Ayers scored Singleton, sac fly Altuve, but a double play was turned by Gunther. It could have been a lot worse. Kerry Carpenter, good swing. And this will drop in front of center right field. Kerry Carpenter gets a long single. So Tigers do get their first base runner of the top 8. And Matt Vierling, who's had a rough day today in right. Wenceel Perez is available, I'm sure, to pinch hit at the switch side if they want to try to swap Matt Vierling, although that is one of their best defensive fielders. So Matt Vierling, I think the sound is back, at least for Mike K on the ESPN side of the Yankees, man. They're trying to get the box back. Vierling ground ball. Try to see if this gets Kerry Carpenter to third. He will get to third. So Matt Vierling comes through with a single. And now the Tigers go first and third. The danger is that there is one out. But the Tigers want to come right back and score this extra run. You know they want to. You know they want to pick it up for Jackson Jobe, but they're going to have to do this against Ryan Presley. They're going to have to do it against Josh Hader. I don't know. I'm holding my reservations right now. It is Riley Greene, As long as he does not into a double play and in a deep fly ball, you think it would be good enough for Kerry Carpenter to tie it at dose. That's what you got to hope for right now as a Tigers fan. KC has taken the lead in their game. Baltimore has a runner at first. Baltimore, I think, has lost a ton of postseason games in a row. I think this would be 8 or 9 if they lose today. Led team in RBI, 50 with runners in scoring position. Man, oh man, this is a huge time for Riley Greene to try to do this right now. Get this run back and bring some hope not only into me, but breathe some life back into Tigers fans to see if they can get it against Ryan Presley, because I feel like I was already writing the epitaph and the Tigers are leading 1-0 in the series. Runners at first and third. In the eighth inning, Tigers down 2-1. Riley needs to get a deep fly ball into the air. That is the only thing he's got to be thinking about right now, unless you draw a walk or get a base hit. But get that runner in from third and tie this game up at 2. That is what they got to do. Top 8, runners first and third. The Astros just took a 2-1 lead. This pitch gets away. Here comes Kerry Carpenter. He scores! Matt Vierling is going to get the second. A wild pitch scores the Tigers' run as it spikes into the dirt, and the Tigers have tied the game. Matt Vierling takes the extra 90. This one just bounced in off of the railing and stays in play. Kerry Carpenter gets this one tied, and now Riley Greene's a base hit away from maybe giving the Tigers the lead. Man, oh man, but I feel silly. That is a great curveball for Presley on a 12-6, the low bottom right part of the box. As this one is a strike, 1-2. Kerry Carpenter all smiles. Tigers feel a little bit better as they're sitting at the top of the railing. Riley Greene, 1-2. Vierling at second. This one low, 96 on a fastball. Make it 2-2. Tigers find a way to win this game. They're going to go to the ALDS. They were down 2-1. It was a crusher. Jackson Jobe stopped everything from falling around him. Tigers find a way to score a subsequent run. It's 2-2 with a 2-2 count. Runner at second. Presley delivers. Riley Greene goes fishing, swing and a miss on a slider. 2 outs. Runner at second. Colt Keith, potential last hope in the top 8, but the Tigers have come back to tie the game. They led 1-0 with Parker Meadows in a solo shot in the 6th. Houston took a 2-1 lead, bottom 7. Tigers come back, scoring a wild pitch in the 8th as Parker Meadows takes very low on a changeup as this game continues to go back and forth. I don't know if my heart palpitations can take it, but this is just postseason baseball. It's a lot different when it's your own team. Makes you feel a little bit of an extra breath. Colt Keith does not offer at a curveball, 2-0, just strong enough to hold the bat back. As Ryan Presley waits on a 2-0 pitch, they'll get it back from Diaz. 47 straight wins when leading, entering into the 8th inning. The last loss was Game 4 of 2017, and the ALCS against the Pinstripes. Colt Keith, 3-0 count. Maybe want to go after Spencer Torkelson, and I think that's probably the right call considering he has not been able to come through. Colt Keith is a dangerous bat, don't care rookie or not. 260, 13 bombs, 61 RBI. I don't think they're going to mess around with Colt. He will take a grand cut at a curveball. Still 3-1, got count leverage. That was a pitcher's pitch to swing at. Colt does oblige, but he's still in the driver's seat here. 2-2 count. Man, I feel silly over the last half inning. I felt like I was writing the Tigers' epitaph for this game, and now they come back and score on a wild pitch. Keith draws his walk. It's his second of the game. He's got 4 walks in 2 games for the Tigers, so nothing wrong with his approaches right now. Joe Espada, I think, is going to make the hook here for Presley, go right to the bullpen, as the new pitching arm is going to face Spencer Torkelson. When we come back, 2 outs in the top 8, runners at first and second. See what the Tigers can do. They're not done just yet.
Welcome to the high seas for the exciting, scintillating premiere of Dr. Odyssey. Come on. And Thursday. Make your heart race. Dr. Odyssey. New Thursday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
I'm really excited. I feel like I'm the top of the world right now.
I feel like it's a dream.
I'm super visible and very grateful.
Love is still alive.
I feel like I've been pushing stuff down a little bit. And people keep asking me, are you 100% ready? I keep saying yes, but I'm not really. I'm sorry.
Don't pressure yourself. When you are ready, let your heart decide.
Hello, Strech. Hope your day's going well. HR is here today, so if anyone has something they want to file, raise your hand. Not about me, about other things. Yes. These are the kick out with this update.
Those are suggestions that we should go out to dinner. It's sick.
Okay, then.
Welcome back to the 2024 Wild World Series presented by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet. Get internet how you want it. So it's time for Josh Hader. Yesterday came into the game like they were trailing 3-0. He comes in today to try to keep it tied. 71 games this year, 71 innings, 3.8 OERA. He strikes out. Batters at a 78% rate.
105 strikeouts in 71 innings, 14.7 strikeouts per 9 in his career.
Another update on the YouTube box. Get back into the play-by-play here. Torkelson at the dish. Runners at first and second. Josh Hader will come in. 96 on a sinker. That looked good. Again, I don't have the plate in front of me with some of the technical difficulties that they have on the ESPN ABC box normally, but sinker called the ball. Torque, this one way low and inside. 2-0 against Spencer Torkelson. It's a 2-2 game. Detroit has just scored a run in the eighth off Ryan Presley in a wild pitch. Hader trying to provide relief here for the Astros. Torkelson with leverage. What's he going to do? Inside on a sinker. Make it 3-0 on Spencer Torkelson. I think you have to take here, don't you? Unless you get a pitch right down the middle. Now, Hader does have that curveball, but if you're Torkelson, do you sit on the heat or do you take one? 3-0. Runners at first and second. Spencer Torkelson up high, draws the walk, no intention of throwing any sort of strikes, although the first sinker was close. I thought that was borderline. So McKinstry is the batter that's in the 7 hole right now. That is a lefty. Trey Sweeney is in there. You do have Justyn-Henry Malloy. You got Andy Ibanez. You have Wenceel Perez. Do you go with Andy Ibanez here? That is probably somebody that AJ Hinch would trust to put the ball in play. I know they're having a meeting right now with Josh Hader on the mound. I think that's probably to discuss how they want to attack a pinch hitter, whether it be Perez, Ibanez, Justyn-Henry Malloy, who eats up lefties. But I would think if you're going with somebody with some leverage, with some experience, someone you trust to come through, if you don't stick with the lefty-lefty with McKinstry, it's probably Ibanez, and then you can flip them over in the infield as McKinstry's in third. So we'll see what AJ Hinch wants to do. You have to trust him implicitly with some of the hitters. I don't know about some of the pitching with Jackson Joe, but hey, the game's tied now, so I don't even have to talk about that. It is Andy Ibanez, and for McKinstry in the 7 hole. Ibanez will take a big cut. Did that actually have home run distance? I think it did. That was way foul on a sinker inside, and Ibanez was there. He looked like he was ready for it. So Andy Ibanez going to try to come through here with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Here's the pinch bat for Zach McKinstry to get that righty-lefty matchup. 0-1. Ibanez with everything on the line right now for the Tigers, everything on the line right now for the Astros. Michael K is right in that regard. The count is 0-2. Ibanez is up against it here. He gets his first plate appearance in the top of the eighth with the bases juiced and 2 outs, but it's an 0-2 count. Hader going to get set to step back in on the bump. Can Ibanez come through? The crowd is getting loud, urging Hader to get through this. And wow, not a strike 3 call. Again, I do not have the box, but that must have just been high and outside. I thought that could have been in the zone. I'm doing the best I can to call balls and strikes to try to see maybe where that missed. That was a little bit outside and high for Andy Ibanez. And now stays alive. Another huge cut for Ibanez on a sinker. I think he's only got one thing on his mind at this point in the eighth inning with the bases juiced. Take a walk or take a single, take anything just to kind of keep that line moving. It would give the Tigers the lead if they can come through here. 1-2 count. Ibanez! He takes a big swing! Is this fair? Down the line! This is going to score a couple runs! Here's the throw to the plate! Not in time! The Tigers score 3! Andy Ibanez empties the bases, and the Tigers take a 3-run lead! I had to wait to take a couple extra beats to see if that would stay fair, and it did. Josh Hader serves up a hot potato, and this one gets launched down the third base line. Just stays fair, shy of the chalk, into the corner. It scores 3. The Tigers with the biggest hit of the game now take a 3-run lead. As Joey Cora says, wave them all. Andy Ibanez comes through. Trey Sweeney now with a big swing. Holy cow. I felt like I might have blacked out for a second. Andy Ibanez with the biggest hit of the game. Again, it was 2-1 when Jackson Jobe, after all that stuff was done with the bases loaded and no outs. I will credit Jackson for one thing, and at least for the Tigers bullpen to be able to come through, turn the double play for Sean Gunther that was so big to keep the scoreline 2-1, not let it get away. Then the Tigers come through. Trey Sweeney, this will draw the Astros back to the Crawford boxes. Mauricio Dubon makes the catch, but guess what, Tigers fans? Andy Ibanez with a 3-run triple clears the base paths in the top 8, and the Tigers now up 5-2. Let's go bottom 8. I don't even know what to say anymore with this Tigers team. I don't know what to say anymore. Oh my goodness.
With advanced technology and breathtaking clarity, and quite strange again. Experience confidence and all-wheel drive that takes you wherever you need to go. Every day, exception by design. GM current eligibility please. Get this ultra-low mileage lease on this 2024 Buick Envision preferred all-wheel drive for $299 per month.
Family. Those are the people you rely on, depend on. When you're hurt in an accident, you turn to family. You turn to the Bernsteins. You can trust them like family. And they'll treat you like family. Get the Bernstein advantage. After all, we're all family around here.
Join 7's Dave Rexroth as he visits your favorite places Friday at 6. Holiday Saturday beginning at New Easter. They don't know that nearly half of all used cars have been in an accident.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, I will get to the official recording. I said this on the Twitter space. If you follow and listen, I don't even know what to say anymore. I feel silly. I will say this, and it happens to everybody. But I mean, again, I'm not professional. I've done a lot of these games. I do feel silly in that 7th, though, kind of feeling like I was writing the epitaph because with 2-1, you got Ryan Presley. I know some of the numbers aren't what they were, but I've seen Presley this many times over the LCS. You bring in Josh Hader. You got Brian Abreu. You have the arms to be able to get outs. 2-1 or not, tenuous lead. You have the Evansville to get out some lock and key. And then the Tigers score off a wild pitch off Presley and a 3-run bases clearing triple off Josh Hader. How much more can you do, again, any better against the best arms you're going to see? So Sean Gunther, when he last came to the mound in the bottom 7, he was getting a double play turn as the Tigers had a 2-1 disadvantage. Houston had the lead. After that tightrope that we talked about with Jackson Joe with the bases loaded, only ended up scoring 2 runs at Houston. Now Gunther comes back to the mound another inning later, and he's got a 5-2 lead. Yordan Alvarez at the bat path here as Joe Espada's club needs runs. They've only scored 3 in the 2 games combined. Josh Hader giving up 3. Bounce right to Colt Keith. Couple extra jab steps back right to Torkelson, and the first out in the bottom 8th. Remember when I said earlier in the 7th inning that I was writing the Tigers epitaph maybe on game 2? Remember when I said earlier that we might not need the bottom 9th because the Houston Astros with Ryan Presley and Abreu and Hader should be able to close this thing? And then Jory Cora with the biggest hug in the world to Andy Ibanez after the bases clearing triple. What more can you say about these gritty Tigers? Still got to get 5 more outs though, but this gives you a breath of fresh air. And most importantly, the Tigers win this one. They can get some extra rest for the rest of these bullpen arms. Get that all squared away against the ALDS. That is what you want. So Gunther now 2-0 against Bregman. He's got some leeway to work with here, so I think my level of urgency is probably calmed down a little bit. Again, I've used the keyboard inside the broadcast. I hadn't done so just yet when I was titled on the Twitter, X Space, and on the YouTube side. John out here with you on the call. Boy, oh boy, this game has changed. It's now a 5-2 lead for Detroit. The Astros down to their final 5 outs. Sinker splits the dish. Make it 3-1. So full count pitch. Bregman ticks. Make it 3-1. Who is going to close here? Are they going to go back to Foley? What are they going to do? This one close enough on a sinker again. I don't have the box in front of me. AJ Hinch, I will give him this. Mild manner or not, it's the same look every time, and now this voting started to change. Thank you guys for making me feel better because I want to see the no on that end. I'm just going to be honest with you. 3-2. Bregman, right to third, right to the man that scored all the runs, and Ibanez to Torkelson, and 2 outs. And this bottom 8th is the Tigers going to try to just cruise along here. If Cooper Hopkins was in here, I hope that he's thinking of me. Same thing for Alec Nava. I know that he sent the message. I'm on pins and needles. I know what you think about alongside Patrick Rush as well. I know more of a Lions fan, but all of the Detroit sports fans, everybody's excited here. Tigers hadn't been in the postseason for 10 years, and now they're 4 outs away from going to the ALDS. And I can't even believe it myself because I was really worried about playing Houston, really worried about playing Baltimore, still worried about trying to get the last 4 outs. Just to be completely honest, we try to call the game right down the middle. Yonder Diaz, grounded Sweeney, soft toss. Torkelson, does he get the tag? They're going to say yes, he did. He was off the bag, but he reached behind him, got the tag of Diaz. We'll go top 9. Tigers got one more opportunity to add some runs.
Nature's Bounty. Your bones are 4 times as strong as concrete. Nature's Bounty supplements your bone health with high absorption magnesium. It's in your nature to stand strong. Nature's Bounty. It's in your nature.
USAA, the military community, and their families.
Owen says, what's up? What's going on, my friend? We're headed to the 9th inning. I can't believe it myself, but the Tigers have a 5-2 lead.
You won't get your hopes up, son. USAA, are you eligible?
Soft drinks are just a buck at Wendy's. Any size, anytime. 3 p.m. Fanta, 10 p.m. Sprite, 7:46 a.m. Coke. Yeah, you're good. Dollar soft drinks, any size, gotta be Wendy's.
Tigers can get some add-on runs, they'll take it. 5-2, top 9. Again, I have to say this. I felt silly in the bottom of the 7th when the Astros take a 2-1 lead. I'm sitting there writing the epitaph for the Tigers, and I've seen it enough over the last month and a half. Shouldn't I know better? But you'd think at some point, against guys like Abreu, Hader, Presley, that they wouldn't come through and the Tigers' luck would run out. But it just continues. They just continue to find clutch at bats, find a way to come through, stay in the ball game. And the pitching continues to do the job. Jackson Jobe, he got his trial by fire, but you know what? I can say out of all that, I'll say it in the story, he got out of it. He kept his team in the game, and he'll learn from it. Jake Rogers with a swing off the dive. This is in and out of the glove of Mauricio Dubon, and Jake Rogers continues to have a very good series for Detroit and also call a very good game and behind the dish. That matters a lot. And Jake Rogers is just getting the job done. I know you looked with Al Avila in the return as far as a couple bullpen arms that are no longer in baseball anymore, and Jake Rogers was essentially the only return for Justin Verlander, but really 5-6 years later in the 10 years in from Tigers last being in postseason, Jake Rogers is making his imprint. Parker Meadows actually lays down a bunt. This one is lifted foul, so thankfully the Tigers are getting another opportunity here. Parker Meadows opened the scoring in the 6th with a leadoff home run. Josh Hader still on the mound. He's the one that's in route for the loss. He gave up a 3-run bases clearing triple to Andy Ibanez. Ball on a slider. That one's low. Make it 1-1. Parker Meadows 1 for 4 with a home run in this game. Andy Ibanez plays the hero, but honestly, the hero is AJ Hinch. This bullpen, this team for the chaos day. We're bringing the chaos in this bullpen to try to get it done. Right now, resulting in a 5-2 lead. Pitch up high on a sinker. Have not had the box on the ESPN side for the technical difficulties, but I still think that we've done a decent job calling balls and strikes and trying to hang in there and give you the play-by-play, be as fair as I can to both. 2-1. Parker Meadows is Hader still on there. Still gets the bunt down. This time he will get it out, but they'll get the lead run at second. So the bunt will take Jake Rogers out. It's still the same thing, but now you got Meadows at first. So if Meadows wants to get a little nasty on the stolen base, it could. The intent was to advance Jake Rogers to 90 feet and get the out at first, but they'll just get the lead runner. So Parker Meadows, that self-sacrifice didn't work out there, but Tigers still have that 5-2 lead, and that's what's most important. Kerry Carpenter, as he's a lefty, again, does not hit lefties well. AJ Hinch, again, he's going to hit all the dominoes and press all the buttons until this game is done, try to get as much matchup advantage as possible. Justyn-Henry Malloy will be the new DH. Big cut on an inside sinker at 94. That was great location in on the hands. JM wasn't able to find it. Parker Meadows, now the runner at first as Jake Rogers got tossed out at second from the sacrifice that was for naught, essentially. Henry Malloy just hit 203, and now they got Meadows caught in a rundown. He is out. So Meadows did try to go. Tigers tried to get a little nasty on the base paths, and the Astros did it the right way. The sacrifice didn't work, and now they out at second. I don't think the Tigers are going to care too much at this moment because they're up by 3 runs. AJ Hinch says, hey, let's run it back. Even if he's wrong, he'll just burn his only challenge that he's got. But I don't think that they should. At this point, this one should be pretty definitive for the first move. And I think that that's easy pickings for Altuve. Good throw there for Ian or Diaz. And Meadows is turned away. Now Malloy A 96 on a sinker will go fouled straight back. So Tigers have 3 more outs to get. Who are they going to go with? Because Jason Foley was walking that tightrope, and with the bases loaded, Bo Brisky had to bail him out. Jackson Jobe had the bases loaded. Sean Gunther got the job done with an inning and 2/3 as Malloy takes a sinker up toward the dome. I still think it would probably be Foley if I'm looking at who's available still. I don't think you're going to be using Ty Madden. You're not using Kenta Maeda. You probably won't use Casey Mize unless you want Reese Olson to close. I think you're going to be going with Jason Foley. But you're still going to keep everybody else warm. So Justyn-Henry Malloy, after all that silliness, but the Tigers are going to do what they're going to do. Off the sacrifice that wasn't sacrificed is Jake Rogers out at second. Caught stealing was Parker Meadows, and then Malloy gets a base hit. You didn't do all that. Maybe you get an opportunity there for the Tigers, but still, it'll be another opportunity for Matt Vierling. So Matt Vierling 1 for 4 with an RBI and a walk. I think 3 strikeouts are what Michael Cade said. And I'll look back up in the Tigers box and then click on this pretty quickly here for Detroit. And yeah, Vierling's got Trey punch outs here. 1-0, but the RBI single is what you're going to remember. 5-2 is the scoreline as Hader's 26 pitches into his day. This is going to be last call for the Astros because if they don't score at least 3 runs, that's it. Tigers already have a 1-0 lead in this wild card. 3-0 dive bomb outside of the zone. Riley Greene would be the next batter. They would have to go left on left because there's no way you're taking him out for defensive purposes. If they want to just go right around Matt Vierling. Again, Matt Vierling is very dangerous as far as getting stuff done. I know he's punched out a lot, but he's still got an RBI single. We'll have the obligatory take on the 3-1 sinker. And he's still in a good driver's seat count. Kansas City got a runner at first with 1-0. They got a 1-0 lead over the O's. That would just be a mess if the Orioles can't find a way to win one game. It's different when you lose against the Rangers. That one gets away. Doesn't matter anyways. It's a walk. So the Tigers will take the extra 90 feet with Malloy. And with 2 outs, Tigers are threatening. Maybe could have already scored a run if it wasn't for the sacrifice and the caught stealing. But as it is right now, it's still 2 outs with runners on first and second. And I know the Houston Astros fans are booing him. They might be booing Josh Hader a little bit because they paid him a lot of money to try to get some outs. And these fans are going to need some Rolaids. It's not really working right now. So thank you for joining me on the YouTube side and the Twitter X space. My name is John. I'm here with you on the call. I'm actually getting a chance to call my hometown team in the postseason. That is not something that we expected. So we'll get back into the official call, a little bit of a meeting on the mound here for Hader. Again, the Houston Astros are not expecting this. They won the AL West. The Mariners were kind of hanging around all season long. The Astros took it late, and now they're at the mercy of the Detroit Tigers in the American League. For the Tigers with a chance to get a day off and go to the ALDS. That would be absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe I'm even saying that. But right now they have a 5-2 lead in the ninth with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Riley Greene now wants an opportunity to try to get some add-on runs. Hader, it's 2-0 against Greene. Got to be very careful here with Riley Greene. I know he might not want to get too big and keep that line moving, but Riley Greene can absolutely hit one out of the park. 2-1 sinker high. He will get the call. It is Josh Hader after all. He should probably get some of these. Make it 2-1. But the big dynamite was Andy Ibanez with a triple down the left field line. Gave the Tigers a 5-2 lead. Riley Greene went up and out of the zone. That was nowhere close. Make it 2-2. We sit with trepidation for the Tigers, but we also sit with trepidation of whether or not are the Houston Astros going to be able to come through. This is a big out that they got to get right now. 2-2. Riley Greene, uppercut. Is this going to stay in play? It will not. Alex Bregman with a courtesy look at 97 on a sinker. still 2-2. Tigers trying to come through against the Houston Astros and punch their ticket to the ALDS. They have a 1-0 lead in the wild card with a 3-1 victory yesterday. They lead 5-2 in today's game. Riley Greene, slider, nowhere close. And with runners at first and second and 2 outs and a full count, all the runners are going to be off to their own mosey here. And a single will at least play to run. Hader requests a new baseball. Kansas City now has runners at first and third with 2 outs. They got the lead in Baltimore. They lead 1-0 in their series. Riley Greene, full count pitch from Hader, side from Diaz. Greene up into the air. It's a high fly ball. It drives. Myers back. He'll make the catch. We'll go bottom 9. Caratini, Pena, Dubon. 6, 7, 8 for Joe Espada's squad. Tigers 3 outs away from going to the ALDS.
Right now, the Orioles haven't scored in that series. Meantime, extra long game in Houston. How do you put the context that 4-1 8th inning the Tigers put together? Absolutely monumental. I look at the young and inexperienced Tigers went out there and had some really good at-bats, especially with 2 outs. The fact that you go out there and take a couple of walks, then Ibanez being able to drive one down the left field line, bring everybody home. To me, it's been the swing decisions of this team that have allowed them to have success offensively. And to do it against frustrating Hader, no less. Yeah, man, that's the thing is you're facing a tough back end of the bullpen. You've got to be smart about how you pick which pitches you're going to attack. But I like the idea that these young players are being aggressive on pitches in the strike zone, which is not easy to do when you have some nerves. But AJ Hinch has settled these guys down. He's pressing all the right buttons. With the exception of Jackson Joe, the bullpen has really delivered in this game. And that's a big part of why they are in this position right now. You think about AJ Hinch down the stretch. He had to press the right buttons with that bullpen because he just had to get into the postseason, and they've all been great. 47 straight playoff wins for the Astros when leading in the 8th inning or later. Michael back in the season on the line right now.
We're going to start at the bottom of the 9th. I have Alec Nava here with me. I'm just writing in the final notes. I hope for Detroit. Will Vest comes in on the mound to try to close it. Again, inning 2/3, 4 strikeouts yesterday. It was Jason Foley in the 9th. They had to bring in some bullpen help alongside Bo Brisky to close it out yesterday. But the Astros now 3 outs left, and their postseason hopes are on the line.
How are we doing here, John?
I am very nervous. I am excited. I don't know what to feel.
I feel the same way as well. Not because it's your guys, but also because it can have major shakeups in the postseason picture. I am absolutely shocked that this potentially could end today. But this could realistically go to 3 at the maximum.
Yes, I thought the same, especially after yesterday, Alec. When you looked at it, Houston Astros have only scored 3 runs in these 2 games combined. And now it's going to be up to Victor Caratini. We'll take a big cut on a fastball, and this will be followed straight back, make it 0-2.
Yeah, Houston has also lost 6 straight home postseason games. That was not expected from a team that's perennially a World Series contender.
No, and again, right, didn't they make, 6 or 7 straight ALCS appearances as well? So we know all about what they can do. And right now, the Tigers have just essentially been able to kind of shut all of that down. I know Jackson Jobe had to go through a little bit of the tightrope, but the game was still 2-1, and the Tigers' bullpen days kept it where it's needed to be.
And they have thus far, especially Tariq Skubal with his stellar outing yesterday.
So Will Vest, 98 on a punchy. This is low. We finally get the box back on the ABC side. That one's in the zone. So Will Vest has now officially thrown 2 innings in these 2 games. He's got 5 strikeouts, and that'll be up to Jeremy Pena, and then mixing in with Mauricio Dubon. Tigers are 2 outs away from going to the ALDS. Pena, this will send Meadows back. He jumps. He makes the catch again. What can he not do?
He's a defensive ace. You nailed it. What can't he do? Jeremy Pena, a former World Series MVP, he thought he had that right in the bag. No, here's Meadows to leap up on a first pitch. Sent him all the way back beyond the warning tracks. He nearly caught the wall. He did.
Oh my goodness. It was a leadoff home run in the 6th. It's a double saving probably in the bottom 9. And it's Mauricio Dubon. And if you can believe it, ladies and gentlemen, for anyone listening in, I got Alec here with me now. The Astros are down to their final out. The Tigers may go to the ALDS. Let that sink in. Here's a grounder. Colt Keith, Torkelson, the Tigers are going to the ALDS. They are going to play the Guardians this weekend.
Oh my goodness. Perhaps the upset of the postseason, and we haven't even reached Thursday yet. The Detroit Tigers, who were given just a 0.2% chance of making the playoffs in mid-August. They defeat the two-time World Series champions of the last decade in a major upset fashion. Second straight year in which the Astros lose at home. These gritty Tides don't quit, and they're moving on.
That was the moniker that they used. That's what play-by-play man, former White Sox, now Tiger, Jason Benetti, they got all the champagne he used. It was a baseball city that doesn't care about the odds, had a team to match. That was his line as well. And now the Tigers are going to the ALDS. Alec, thank you for joining me here toward the end of this. At least I had somebody to share the joy in with. I do not know what to say really about this team anymore. I guess I shouldn't be lost for words because we've seen this about a month and a half. And really, I'll tell you this openly in the commentary, I probably felt silly in the bottom of the 7th inning, almost really right in the epitaph on this game 2 because it was 2-1 with the bases loaded. But the Tigers come out, they score runs on Ryan Presley, and then the 3-run triple from Andy Ibanez off Josh Hader.
Well, Josh Hader may have that infamous track record in the postseason, but this Tigers team truly is special. We speak of last year with the Diamondbacks making a deep run. They're not in the playoff picture anymore. In fact, it's the first time in 17 years in which both World Series finalists don't make the playoffs. That's so long, but now this Tigers team, the 6th seed in the AL, the Guardians and the Royals, all playoff teams in the AL Central. The Tigers ride that hot run. Realistically, they could give the Guardians some trouble now that they are onto the ALDS. Derek Skubal with the disposal plus with the emergence of Riley Greene and Ibanez, plus AJ Hinch getting his revenge on the team he was canned by after the scandal. And scandal or not, he still got it in him. He knows how to manage a lineup, and he knows how to manage a pitching rotation still to this day.
Yes, he does, Alec. A few more things for me and you before I get going here. But yeah, you're absolutely right as far as AJ Hinch. And I was the same thing. I was on the fence initially when they signed him because of all that stuff with Houston. I'll be forthright and honest about all of it. But look, whether or not AJ Hinch wins Manager of the Year, I don't think he's going to. He's at least going to get some votes, Alec.
He is at least. It's a very tight race to AL Manager of the Year. You can make the legitimate argument between him, Stephen Vogt, and Matt Luccharo winning all AL Central managers, by the way. But Hinch, he does have a strong argument. How often do you see that a manager take a team that is in the mix of the fringe playoff contention all the way to the playoffs, let alone go on a 31-11 run in 42 games since August to make the postseason? But it's one thing to clinch a playoff spot against the White Sox, but it's entirely a different thing to knock off the MLB's biggest dynasty of the last decade.
Yeah, I can't say it any better because in the sense of it, like you said, Tarek Skubal, maybe Carter Montero, mix and match. 2 out of 5 essentially bullpen days. Have that record to go in for about a month and a half. Tigers, dead to rights, all things considered, probably not making the postseason. And you talk about it with the AL Central. We all got to laugh a little bit at their expense in the AL Central, but then you look at the Guardians, the Royals, and the Tigers all in the postseason. I don't know if we could have picked it, but this is what we got right now. So for the Tigers, they will start on Saturday at 1:08 against the Guardians. Again, they'll be starting again on the road. Man, Comerica Park, that's going to be buzzing. What do you got going on tonight, and how do you see it?
How do I see tonight in the next games? Is this?
Yeah, you're covering a game tonight, aren't you, Alec?
Yeah, the Mets and the Brewers. How I see things is that I believe that the Mets, they're going to get their way over to the NLDS tonight with the way that they've been playing. Offensively, it's Francisco Lindor's show to steal clutch hits to make it to the postseason in that Game 1 thriller. Easily the best regular season game of the MLB 2024 season. And had it not been for Shohei Ohtani, you would see Lindor's name already NL MVP talks. That's how good he has been in this year. When you think of the Mets, you think of Nimmo, Marte, Diaz, Severino, Monaya, Quintana. Those are some household names to consider around Metland, along with the emergence of Mark Vientos and Luis Angel Acuna. They've been showing strong and lead the way to the postseason. But who would have thought this back in the beginning of June?
No, it's kind of almost the same way. Again, a little bit different because the Mets have a lot more payroll and some heavy hitting players, but the Mets went on a hell of a run. But the Mets reward, should they end up beating the Brewers, is playing the Phillies on Saturday at 4:08 on Fox. So that is a whole nother can of worms there, but we'll get to it when we get to it. Enjoy the game tonight, Alec. Have fun. Have a good cast. And I know that we'll talk soon. And before I let you go here and let everyone else know, Alec and I will be back in action at least next week, Tuesday, when the Bruins and Panthers get going on the banner drop on that Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to that, my friend.
Yeah, looking forward to that too. There's a whole lot of drama going in Boston, by the way. Jeremy Swayman.
Is that contract happening or not?
I wonder, but it feels like there's so much drama around here that the first time that $64 million was mentioned by Cam Neely over the press conference, the Bruins offered him 8 years and $7.8 million a year. Swayman wants $8.5 million a year. But initially it looked like it to be $6 million, but the Bruins, they may be drawing closer. If there's no contract in here, could it be out? I don't know if Swayman could realistically hold out. I hope that doesn't happen, but it would be a very ugly situation if Swayman does hold out.
Well, I'll say this before I let you go then really quickly, because they already lost Linus Olmark. You lose Jeremy Swayman, and I know Boston is a good team across the board, but you lose both those goaltenders, that's real bad news.
Yeah, it's a gut punch. Not only that, but if they do lose him, that's an all-time bump. So they need to get that quickly. Hopefully that gets resolved. But congrats to your Tigers.
Hey, thank you, Alec. Thank you for joining in late. If I see you around this weekend after the Shark stuff, I'll try to maybe join in if you're doing a game, or if not, I'll see you Tuesday. But we'll talk soon. Have a good cast.
Talk to you soon.
Well, it's happening, guys. The Tigers find a way to get the victory. They win 5-2 against the Houston Astros in advance to the ALDS. They'll be taking on the Guardians. That is an early game at 1:08 on TBS. Could I try to pull double duty in between the Tigers and Guardians and then go to the Sharks game on Saturday? Perhaps I could. So we'll have to look at that. I'm going to look and see when they end up playing again. It's at 4:08 on Monday. Probably better call that, let's say I miss game 1 and cover game 2 at 4:08. I think that's probably the look. We'll try to see if we can get any other guest appearances on there. Thank you very much. We will talk soon. I'll try to be in contact with Alec Nava. If not, I will catch up with him on Tuesday when it is the Bruins and the Panthers. But it's all for today. Tigers win 5-2. They head to the ALDS. They eliminate the Houston Astros. See you guys. Peace.